And I think we are live. Let's see. Pretty sure we're live at least. Well, we'll wait for people to join in. And I'll definitely adjust the volume since I know that is always something that needs to be adjusted. Let me see here. We'll wait until people start joining, but I'm pretty sure you can hear everything just fine. Let's see. Welcome everybody. Welcome. If you are joining the stream, how are you doing? Hope you're having a great Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. I know it's definitely out of the blue, but want to be spontaneous. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the stream for when we will get more people diving in. Let's see. Live. New Game Plus. Marvel Spider-Man 2. While diving into all the latest Marvel Games news and more. Dive in, or tune in to join the fun. Boom. You know me, because I always tweet while streaming because I'm terrible at doing things simultaneously, and I didn't prepare for this ahead of time, so y'all get what you get, but it's totally fine. Let's see, and then double check on YouTube to make sure we are streaming, because sometimes it doesn't pop up all the way, and we are. Great, and you can see it. But yes, welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hope you're doing fantastic. Hope you're having a great Sunday, and hopefully you will enjoy the stream once we dive in. Finally continue my Livestream New Game Plus playthrough. Boom. Okay. Bam. Just posted that. Great. And if you guys were to like the stream or share it, that would be fantastic. I'm sure also my buddy Ghosty will be joining us soon. Probably invite into a PlayStation party, and we'll get this thing rolling. Let's see. And of course, I know the audio is always bad, but I don't have a big Twitch streamer setup or everything, you guys, so I'm working with what I have, but we're doing our best. Let's see. But what is up, everybody? Welcome. Bully Lowenthal, Gwendolyn Anderson, Michael Davis 2, DC and Marvel Fan 29, Abi, Nana Bawua, the Symbiote Slasher, The Great Acolyte, Zappy, Solomon McNeil, Joseph X Gaming, Stefan Crawford, DC Gaming, everybody, my boy, Stealth Gamer 26, what is up, guys? Awesome. Yes, I know we have been gone for quite some time, as you can see, since we actually played the New Game Plus playthrough for Marvel Spider-Man 2 when the New Game Plus update launched in March. But sadly, I've been very busy outside of YouTube, and even worse, recently, a lot of my internet stuff has been acting on the fritz, so I haven't been able to go online and check Twitter on my laptop, or even on my PlayStation mainly, is download updates for games or use the internet to play online games, or mainly this, live streams, which is the main one I do for the channel, and I haven't been able to actually do it, so hopefully that can be changed and fixed down the line once we start hopefully doing more streams. Let's see. Let's check the settings really quick. You got that there. And we will dive into a couple of the glitches we've seen this update receive, but we'll dive into a lot of that, trust me, because I have a lot to say. Okay, volume is at 7. We have subtitles, I'm assuming. Visual and performance, UI, yes. Nope. Subtitles on. Yes. Gameplay Ultimate. Of course. Of course, you gotta do Ultimate. And the suits. What do we got? Because that's right, we got New Game Plus suits. So I do want to keep playing New Game Plus with like the black suit on because I have to. Just for the culture. We could also do the Raimi suit with the recent release of the Sam Raimi movies re-releasing in theaters, which is cool. And fun fact, I recently saw the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie in theaters for the very first time on Thursday last week because I've seen the movie. It's my favorite Spider-Man movie. A lot of people say, oh, the, second one's the best, and it's amazing, don't get me wrong, but I always have a soft spot for the first one. I guess maybe because that was my first introduction to Spider-Man, but just because Willem Dafoe is amazing as Green Goblin, the story is so iconic and perfect, and the action still holds up to this day. And I love the origin of, Peter getting his powers and how that's portrayed in the movie so well. And it's amazing to finally see all that in a big movie theater screen. And people in the theater were excited. They were cheering at certain parts, which was actually very cool. I wasn't expecting that. So we could wear the Raimi suit in honor of that, but I mainly want to do it for the Insomniac culture with the black suit. But as you might have seen with a recent patch update for this game, we got the classic suit with all the variants of the same suit, which is a glitch, but luckily it doesn't affect me because I'll be wearing either the advanced suit 1.0, the advanced suit 2.0, or the black suit the majority of the time for Peter. Although I feel like Insomniac might have seen a post that I made like a week ago or so about the classic suit, and maybe they did that just to piss people off because they know I'm right. I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding, but I'll dive into what I mean in a second. But I just find that hilarious that out of all the other suits, that's not a good example because that's a movie suit. Out of all the other like comic-based suits, you got the suit variants for still are all on these. Those are fine. That's fine. That's fine. It's just the classic suit that has the 4 separate variants. And I'm sure there's like insane people out there like, oh, this suit looks different from that one because the web line is different and it's a different shade of black or whatever. But I just love how that's the one suit that has a glitch on with the suit styles, which I find hilariously funny. But we'll get into that eventually. Let's see. Oh, my boy, Franco, do you want me to start a PS party? That would be great. If you're free and available and you feel like it, that'd be awesome. And more people can join in if they want to. My boy, Super Hour with Dave Matthew Bodie. Hey, Spidey Squad. What's up, Dave? Everyone go subscribe to him right now because he's the best. And we did a podcast on his channel a while ago. I think like back in December or November or something in last year when the game released. And we talked a lot about Spider-Man, the game, and it was awesome. And he's the best. So go definitely make sure to follow and support him. Let's see. And I'm sure Ghosty will join us too, Franco, soon. But yes, everybody, again, hopefully doing well. I know this is definitely out of the blue, but again, I've been super busy. I've been meaning to get back into streaming the game fully because one of my goals is to play through the whole game from start to finish in New Game Plus for all you guys on the channel because I never got around to doing a Let's Play for this game. But I want to do that, so hopefully I can. Now, how do I switch back the Gold Gadget web shooter? But we'll keep it just for a fun New Game Plus thing. Is that for all of them right now? No, because I have to unlock stuff. That's right, rare tech parts. See, I'm not lying to you guys. I've waited so long to dive back into this game since I did my Venom video, which I'm very thankful for the response that people gave to it. I really put like literally everything I had into that video, and I'm really happy that people resonated with it, and it was a passion project for me to work on. But since doing that video and since the New Game Plus live stream, that was the last time I played the game. I haven't been back since because I've just been literally nonstop playing Hifi Rush, which is honestly nowadays it might have become like one of my top 5 video games of all time. And I was low key tempted to live stream it for this stream. I almost did. But I said, you know what? No, I have to go back to Spider-Man because I want to finish the New Game Plus playthrough. But I'm so tempted to eventually just live stream Hifi Rush for all you guys because, oh my god, like it's the sickest game I've ever played in my entire life besides Spider-Man. Like it's that good. It's a masterpiece. And anyone who's not playing it right now, you are missing out big time. Thank you, Michael Davis. I enjoy these streams. Thank you so much, dude. I'm glad you're here. Comic Book Reporter, thank you so much for the $2 donation. You're going to see Deadpool and Wolverine, right? Of course. What's interesting is I remember very clearly that back when the first movie came out, my mom and I saw it together, but it was weird because that came out in 2016, and on that day, it just so happened that Deadpool, the first movie, released alongside of another movie that my mom and I are huge fans of Zoolander, and they released the sequel, Zoolander 2, and Deadpool on the same day. So we watched them back to back in the theater, and it was hilarious. Zoolander 2 is not that great compared to the first one, which is a masterpiece, but it was funny to see that. And then I think we saw Zoolander first and then Deadpool. And yeah, it was on Valentine's Day, right? Like when they released it, or close to Valentine's Day. So the first one's iconic. The second one I really enjoyed. I just think I prefer the first one more because of, like, I think Ryan Reynolds' performance was really rock solid, and I love again, I'm always a big fan of origin stories, so maybe that's part of it, but also I just think the story was more, like, well told and tight-knit compared to the second one, which just started to introduce all this comic stuff. But now, I love Wolverine, like all the Wolverine movies. So now that we're getting that with Deadpool finally together, besides X-Men Origins, like an actual comic-accurate Deadpool with a comic-accurate Wolverine, even though we just saw Logan, and he died in Logan, but it's a different Wolverine from that Wolverine. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm excited to dive in and check it out, and that'll be super fun to see. My boy Jack Ireland is in the chat. What is up, dude? I'm doing great. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Oh, Franco, you invited me? Thank you. Yeah, that's what we're waiting for, just the party. Let's see. Join. And then hopefully people in the chat will be able to hear Franco as well. Stealth Gamer, my boy, what's going on, dude? I missed you, buddy. How have you been?
I'm doing alright, man. How are you?
I'm doing good.
And I missed you too, alright? I missed hearing your beautiful, beautiful voice.
Oh, thank you. Too kind, too kind.
And, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm a fossil now, but don't worry. But I appreciate the sentiment. Oh, well, another.
You're never a fossil. You're not a fossil to me, buddy.
Well, I'm honored. Thank you, bro. And another amazing $2 donation from Comic Book Reporter. Thank you so much. Wolverine PS5 2024 or 2026? Well, we are in 2024 right now, which is crazy because I almost said that we're in 2023 still, but we're not. It's madness how fast time flies. But since we are in 2024 right now, and we haven't really heard a whole lot from Insomniac about Wolverine since the reveal trailer, like in terms of official stuff. I'm not talking about any of the leaked stuff. I think that if we're lucky, based on all the madness that they've had to endure in these past, months, that it could still release in 2026. I doubt it's going to release in 2024, but if you've seen one of my recent videos, that there is more than likely going to be a PlayStation showcase next month in May, and I am very much looking forward to that if that happens, because that is where we could see an official update to any of the new PlayStation games. So Spider-Man, Wolverine, maybe some other Marvel game stuff that we don't officially know about yet that could be made, and other stuff that could also be revealed, like a lot of people are looking forward to, like, Ghost of Tsushima 2. Maybe, like, what else? Like, a Naughty Dog game, maybe? Like, they've been kind of quiet. Like, Franco, what do you think? Like, I know that you're a big PlayStation fan, but also in the sense of, what could they reveal in terms of, like, first-party games? And we're not talking about, like, what's it called? like any third-party stuff, but just more like PlayStation exclusives. I know that that Stellar Blade game that everyone's freaking out about recently with the girl that comes out this month.
You mean Game of the Year right there?
Yeah, you mean Game of the Year? Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
That's Game of the Year right there.
That's Game of the Year.
It's for the gameplay. I mean the story, of course. It's
for
totally the story.
Culture. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, to answer your question, 2 simple words: Sly Cooper.
Please, God. Oh my God, we need this so badly. Especially like I don't know why. Like, have you played Hi-Fi Rush, Franco? Like, have you seen how amazing that game is?
I have. I've been meaning to get it, but I've been so busy.
I know, because we've been DMing about it, like, finally, because, like, when we first saw it on the Xbox, like, this is amazing, but can it be on PlayStation, though? And then it is, but, like, God, it's just a game changer.
Like, seriously, chat, if you have not played or seen Hi-Fi Rush,
seriously,
what are you doing? Like, seriously, go, if you can't play it, go watch it on YouTube. It is, like, you will not be disappointed with the gameplay. Like, it is
not even that, like, yeah, like, it's iconic, but, like, even, like, it's funny in the chat right now, Moritaka Ishida asks, Evan, what is Hi-Fi Rush's gameplay like? So, basically, it's, like, a rhythm-based action game. It's almost like Devil May Cry meets... I don't know, like an early, like, Sly Cooper almost, or like Ratchet and Clank or something, but you need to just play it for yourself. Do not take my or Franco's words for it. You need to just play straight up what it's like, because, oh my God, it's amazing. I don't know why the tendrils are white, but we're going to fix that. Let's see, Find Grandpa or Rooftop Fireworks. I'm going to do Find Grandpa with... I think, so what I did in, like, my original playthrough of the game, I did the Find Grandpa mission with Miles, and then I did the Howard mission with Peter, because I feel like that just makes sense, because Peter has more of a relationship with Howard than Miles does, because even though Miles met him in his own game, like, Peter met him first, like, and he's been Spider-Man for longer, and he already knew him, like, in the first game. He's like, oh, hey, Howard, like, how's it going? Because he already knew him before the events of the game started, so... I have not done that Howard mission with Miles yet, but I might do it for this playthrough.
I've done it before. I've done it both ways. But yeah, like, it doesn't matter like how many times I play either like the Howard mission or the Grandpa mission. I get a little teary-eyed. Doesn't matter how I've played this game like maybe over 10 times now. Like I've lost count, but like doesn't matter how many times I play those 2 missions. I always get teary-eyed. It's
so good.
I know.
Bink. Oh, I forgot I have the symbiote bomb equipped. Oh my God. Yeesh. My brain is so, like, I'm still thinking in, like, Hi-Fi Rush controls right now, so I'm thinking, oh, R1 is to dodge, but it's circle instead. Oh, wait. Oh, God. See, I'm getting my butt whooped. Oh, no. Here we go. But yeah, like, there is so much going on right now within the gaming side of things, with gaming news potentially going to start, you know, kicking up soon. But I'm hoping that PlayStation will see all the feedback that people got from the last PlayStation showcase, because even though we loved it because they showed Spider-Man gameplay, the general showcase as a whole, people didn't really think it was as good as the 2021 showcase, because if you remember, they didn't even have a 2022 showcase. So people were waiting for like a year and a half, like almost 2 years for a brand new showcase from PlayStation. And when we finally got it, a lot of the games that they showed were either leaked or live service. And the ones that were leaked, they weren't like big, massive PlayStation exclusive reveals like your God of War Ragnaroks, your Spider-Man 2s, your Wolverines, nothing on that scale. It was more like not smaller scale, but just not as impactful as people want it to be. So I'm hoping, like, when they say, oh, boom, here's the brand new PlayStation showcase with, you know, Spider-Man 2 DLC, we're hoping, or maybe Wolverine gameplay. Like, it depends on what they show, but on how they show it, too, is equally as important. So we'll have to wait and see.
Maybe in a month. Maybe in 2. You never know.
I know, man.
You never know.
It sucks because now all the cool, you know, gaming conventions like E3 and Comic-Con, they're gone. So we're just waiting for like that next big thing to draw gamers into. an event that will really make them like appreciative of the gaming industry. But now it's just like, oh, what, they didn't do what I want them to do, and oh my god, this game's broken or whatever. It's just like they need to just do something that will like excite the gaming landscape in a more, you know, innovative way. Like I guess what Jeff Keighley's doing with the Summer Game Fest.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up.
Yeah, like on a more, but you know, like a more, I don't know the word I'm looking for, but just more like interactive, I guess. You're just like, wow, they did this, like, boom, here's a surprise reveal, and here's a surprise reveal that everyone can get excited for, not just like, that was mid or whatever, because I'm so tired of people. Like, that was just
like
not worth it. Yeah, that. Big L, massive L, like, oh my god, yeah. Barrett Bushika, I love Sly Cooper, yes. Sly Cooper's amazing. I think, I know a lot of people say 2 is their favorite, I really love 3. And funny enough, maybe I'm a bit biased because Persona 5 Royal or just Persona 5 literally reminds me of like Sly Cooper 3. Like getting the band together and like doing heists and stuff. Like,
I mean, that's another game that you should totally play is Persona 5 Royal.
Please. Kasumi is the best. That's all that matters. Same with Hi-Fi Rush Corsica. Like, my god. It's just the redhead.
Like, give me a, you know, like just treat that game like The Last of Us Part 1. You know, give it a remake.
Yes. Exactly, like literally that or any of the Infamous games from Sucker Punch, like please. Just need something to get like, instead of like, you know, there's rumors right now of like a Horizon Zero Dawn remake, or an Uncharted 1 remake I've heard about too. And it's like, are you serious? Infamous is right there. Like, why don't they want, especially with all the superhero stuff going on right now with like Invincible, Spider-Man, Squad Kill the Justice League, because apparently saying Suicide Squad's like problematic on YouTube, so people just say Squad. But
I'm sorry, what game is that? I never heard of that game before.
Just a game that should not exist is all that matters. But yeah, like I don't know. Like there's so much that they can do right now in the gaming like side of things, but they're just like, we'll wait and see.
Oh no, I remember. It's that one game that nobody asked for, and that its first season of content came out, and it's literally the exact same game. Oh, gee, I wonder what that reminds me of.
Oh, and they now it's all DLC and microtransactions. Yeah, exactly. And F you, do you want a chicken nugget? It's so bad. It's just so, like, because they had all that time to think about how they want to approach the game differently from what came before, and they're like, instead, nah, we're good, actually. Like, okay. Oh, thank you so much, Riot 2000, for the $5 donation. Hot take. The Gadget Wheel in Marvel Spider-Man is heavily overrated in terms of what it actually did during stealth and combat, severely slowed down gameplay. I think it's because Insomniac is known for that Gadget Wheel, like from Ratchet and Clank and Sunset Overdrive even. And I think Resistance. I know they did Resistance, but I forget if Resistance had like a Gadget Wheel. But they wanted to add that for Spider-Man. I think it works fine for what it is. But now you see that they just got rid of it completely in the sequel. So now they streamlined it a lot more.
Yep, addressed to the man himself.
Let's see. Sorry, Grandpa, we're not going to read that letter. We already know what it says. What was I going to say? Oh, so a couple things. So this recent patch that came out for Spider-Man 2 had an update where the classic suit, and I like the red logo on the black suit because that's how it originally was designed in the comics, but I'm going to wear, I just love the white instead. So I'm going to swap that. But the classic suit has, like, the suit styles have been removed from this recent patch. And I made a tweet, I don't know if you saw this, Franco, but I was like, oh, like, a lot of Spider-Man fans just seem to want the classic suit.
Oh, yeah,
and
that one.
No other suit, like, in any form of media, because they just hate it when people redesign it or decide to do something different with it, like with the advanced suit, or, you know, even like the No Way Home suit, or the Far From Home suit, or anything like that, really. Like, they just get so butthurt if it's not one-to-one exactly like, even like the brand new No Way Home, like the final No Way Home suits, just, that's a classic suit. And even the Far From Home suit, like, that's a classic suit too, but it's black and red instead of white, red and blue.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
like they just hate when developers or artists or whatever decide to do something different and innovative. But it's like if you don't try to do something new, then how will anything ever change to give you something that's interesting and different? And maybe it's a change that you will like, or maybe it's a change that you won't like. But the important thing is that they at least try to do something different.
That's Grandpa Earl's.
Exactly.
And that could be said about anything. Like, do you want to see the same exact story over and over and over again, or the same exact actor play the same character over and over and over again? Like, if you really like that actor or that character, I guess. But it's more important to just try new things. And even if the suit design, like for example, like what's a suit that I guess like the Inside Out suit from No Way Home. I'm not a big fan of too much. Just the black and gold, like it's inside out, so that's why it looks like that. It's not my favorite,
okay.
but yeah, like
It's
for
alright.
narratively, it makes sense. Aesthetically, it looks cool, and I like how he has the Doctor Strange gauntlet on his hand too.
Yeah.
Is it like the best suit ever made of all time? No, but do I respect them for trying something different? Yes. So it's just like you got to embrace change. You can't remain stagnant with these designs or narrative choices or aesthetically different, looks, because that way you get the same stuff every single time. You won't get change.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see. I did this wrong. There we go. Boom. These puzzles, at first I was like, so when I was in the preview event for Spider-Man 2, like when they did the whole PlayStation experience thing, they had like the EMF mission with Harry, like where you first meet with Harry in the Emily May Foundation, where Peter already has the symbiote, and you're trying to synthesize the Doc Connors formula for the lizard.
Right.
And they showed this for the first time, and I'm like, what in God's name am I looking at right now? Like, I didn't know what... I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea how to fix it or solve it, but I was like, what is this? And then now I'm doing it, I'm like, piece of cake.
I just skip those.
So you go the easy route, huh?
Well, I mean,
see.
if you,
if you do it once, yeah, of course, then yeah.
I mean, yeah, but if you watch my playthrough of the game, which you totally should check out, wink, wink.
Everyone go, yes. Everyone go watch Amazing Stealth Gamer 26's Marvel Spider-Man 2 playthrough on his channel, because it's amazing.
Yeah, no, because I did it the first time, and then like all the other times, like, okay, I'm just gonna skip it, because it's like the puzzles in the first game. You do it for the first time, you feel great, and then on repeated playthroughs, you're just like, yeah, I'm just gonna skip it.
Right. I don't know why, like...
Hey there, sir.
So when I was doing my Venom video, I replayed all the Spider-Man games from start to finish. The Insomniac Spider-Man games. And even then, I did all the puzzles with, like, the Doc Ock arms and stuff. Like, no, I have to earn the story. I have to earn the narrative that I'm going through. But now I'm like, what's hilarious, the one puzzle that messes me up in this game is the final EMF Harry side mission in the garage.
Yes!
I don't know
my God.
why. That one hates me. Like, I can't fix that one. Like, I did it, like, the very first time I was able to do it, but it took me a while to do it. So
same.
I was like, what the heck is going on here?
That's probably like the biggest pain in the ass puzzle in the entire game.
That one was hard. Let's see. Jack Ireland, yes. Spider-Man Twitter can be an actual cesspool at times. I'm still rooting for the revival of old platforming franchises. Well, they care, is the important thing. Spider-Man fans are very passionate, so I can't fault them for being dedicated to what they like and what they don't like, because that's every single one of us. Like, we each have a preference. But yeah, man, like, sometimes it's like, guys, come on, it's not that serious. Oh, thank you, JD Williams, 1202, $2 donation. Love you, Spider Brother. Love you too, my guy. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Ghosty's here too in the chat. What's up, my boy?
Thought I'd be ready, but nothing gets you ready.
I don't know why. Seeing the black suit in this lighting is nuts. And I can't wait until the Funko Pops drop. It's gonna be amazing.
You pre-ordered it, right?
I did.
I'm pretty sure you did.
I pre-ordered.
Yeah, same.
And yes, Yes, everyone. Yes, I even pre-ordered the Evolve suit. I had to do it for the
Boo
culture.
this man!
For the culture. For the culture.
Why?
Because two reasons. One, I want to do it because I want all of the canon alternate suit Funko Pop. So like in the Miles, which is insane that the Miles Morales game, they released every single alternate suit in that game as a Funko Pop, which is crazy.
I have all of them except for 2.
So that's the thing. So I didn't get all of them. I only got the canon ones for the story, which in the game, in the context of the game, it's the the base black and red Miles suit, and then the Bodega Cat suit, because he gets that as a side mission where you talk to Teo, and that of course. But I wanted the Evolve suit just to have it because it's canon. And I also want the Velocity suit because that's also technically canon if you read the comic book tie-in. But I also want the black suit, but they didn't have the black suit to be pre-ordered yet.
I don't think it's a pre-order,
Yeah,
I don't think it is,
I got upset. I'm like, really? But
yeah, same. I got upset too. I'm like, come on, man.
You have all
black
of them,
suit.
but the best one. And I think when I first saw the black suit for this game, seeing the textures, I'm like, it's kind of overdoing it a little bit, with the whole chest sequence here. You see how all these lines are going on for the symbiote, with the padding, it almost looks like armor. But I wanted to talk about this in my Venom video, but I didn't really get around to doing it because I didn't know where to put it in. But I love how it reflects, again, how the symbiote is a product of Peter's mental state and what he's going through, and also what he knows about the suit as it's on him. So Harry, he didn't know was an alien, so he sees Spider-Man, and the symbiote sees Spider-Man, and they're inspired by him to be a hero. So they're and Harry doesn't have powers, so he's a normal guy. So that's why the symbiote builds armor on him, the padding and the gauntlets and the bootstraps and all that, because it's trying to protect him because he's just a normal human. Peter, he's already superpowered, so it's a more sleeker, padded design, but it's the muscle fibers of the symbiote are coming through to exacerbate Peter's strength, and what's it called? Emphasize the seamlessness of Peter's spider abilities, and how strong and flexible and athletic he is, even outside of the symbiote powering up. So the suit is emphasizing all those traits onto Peter. And then when he, gets in touch with the meteorite, then becomes the Surge suit, where it's all gross and veiny and muscular because Peter's gone downhill and the symbiote's getting angrier and all that. It's a narrative in and of itself. There's a story in the suit, and I love that.
Is it a hot take that I prefer the normal black suit look than the symbiote's look of the suit?
No, because it's weird.
Don't get me wrong, okay? I love the symbiote look, okay? I love the spider logo, and I love the more sharper eyes, but I don't know, it's just, there's something about, the first look of the suit that just makes it look, more, cooler looking.
That, and it's just, that's the iconic, black suit design, right? That's, because we even have, the classic black suit is an alternate suit here in this game. Still missing the Ultimate Spider-Man suit, by the way. But
and the purple red color does not count.
Purple, that does not count. Thank you. I hate when people say, "But they already put that suit in the game." No, they did not. No, they did not. But yeah, see, people just wanted that for the suit, and it's that's cool and all, but don't you want something new and interesting? Which again goes back to the whole classic suit debate. The black suit, is this my favorite black suit of all time ever? No, but I love that they went this route with it. And the same thing, yeah, the symbiote Surge suit, I like how it looks a lot. And people keep comparing, this is such a downgrade compared to that concept art that I've seen shared on Twitter of the more refined looking thing. But again, that's not reflective of the narrative that's going on with Peter. And also, it looks the exact same, it's more veiny here, but he's gone too far. He's become more aggressive. The symbiote's become more aggressive. It's angrier, and it's connected back to the meteorite, so it's acting more violent than what it usually would. But yeah, this black suit, the textures on the muscle fibers, and I love how instead of the web pattern on the Raimi suit, because they just made the standard Raimi suit black instead of doing this classic looking black suit. They kind of replaced the webbing with the symbiote textures on the legs and the arms, and I love that. It's just so much more going on there than what you're commonly used to for a symbiote suit design. So let's see. I did the what's it called? The Grandpa mission with Peter. I should have done it with Miles, but I thought I'd do it with Peter. I'll do the firework mission with Miles. And by the way, congrats to Najee for winning the BAFTA.
Yes.
But at the same time, I'm like, when is Yuri gonna get his W? When
is he gonna get his flowers?
When is he gonna get his flowers? Can we just at least give Yuri something at some point? Man, like going back to seeing that symbiote scene, like when he's fighting Miles, I'm like, come on now, really? We're not gonna award him with anything?
And the fun fact, like when he's trying to push out of the cage, apparently he broke his voice when he was recording that scene.
He hurt himself. Yeah,
yeah.
Same with
don't get me wrong, I love the guy who I forget the character that he played as in Baldur's Gate 3. He did a great performance.
Oh, Neil Newbaum. Yeah, that's the actor. I think he played I don't know, a Torian or something, some dark elf or whatever. But yeah, I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Compared to Yuri?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I watched a little bit of his performance and it was good. But I mean, come on, Yuri, man. Yuri put his life on the line.
He put his life on the line, and also I was thinking, back in the Game Awards last year, I was like, okay, it's either gonna be Yuri for Peter or Ben Starr for Clive in Final Fantasy 16. And I just recently played the recent DLC that released for that, the Rising Tide DLC, which was amazing. And if you own Final Fantasy 16, you should definitely play that.
I don't have it.
It's really, really good. I'm not a big Final Fantasy guy, but I've seen all of the reviews where if you own a PS5, you need to play this game. I'm sold then. And I played them this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. It's so good, the story, but also the gameplay and the graphics are incredible. And there's a demo, so you can try it out, and if you don't like it, then just skip it. But the demo's really good. But yeah, the performance that Ben Starr does as Clive in that game was amazing. And I'm like, if Yuri doesn't win, then Ben should definitely win. But neither of them won. I'm like, really? Really? All right. Oh, J.D. Williams 1202, going to see Spider-Man 2002 in theaters tonight. Awesome. Have fun. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. Yeah, I was not I haven't seen the first Spider-Man movie in I feel a long time. But seeing it in theaters was a totally different experience. So have fun.
We didn't know. They're for our brother, Lex. We lost him a few years ago.
Lex Luthor?
So we tried to launch a few around his birthday.
He's my brother Lex. You know, Lex Luthor? He's in this game?
Oh.
That's right, no. Terrible joke. Awful. Doc Ock, Alfred Molina says, is a terrible joke. I know.
Wait. If those fireworks we bought were
but yeah, man, there's so many good games out right now, but a lot of people just don't want to give them a shot. Oh, will I like Hi-Fi Rush? I don't know. Will I like Final Fantasy 16? I don't know. Even me, I'm guilty of that. Will I like Baldur's Gate 3? I don't know, but it's I'm sure that if I played it, I might enjoy it. Even if it's a different genre of game, I'm sure I'd be interested in it. But it's so cool, how many different ways there are to make these games in different ways, in different genres, but still make them engaging for the audience. And the reason why I'm saying all that is because of what's going on with Marvel right now with their games. Oh my god, Franco, you've been keeping up with all the news, right? Seeing what the hell they're doing?
Yeah. Wait, with what?
With all the Marvel games. You got Iron Man, you got Black Panther, you got the Marvel 1943, you got frickin' Blade, you got Spider-Man 2 DLC, you got Wolverine, you got all this stuff. It's oh my god, yeah. Marvel Rivals, geez, and DC
which I'm actually looking forward to, because I'm actually a huge fan of Overwatch, so...
Really?
Marvel.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of, what type of... The only, PvP game I can think of that I've played that's similar to Overwatch, I guess, is Titanfall.
Oh, yes.
I love Titanfall.
Titanfall 2?
Yep. Yeah, baby. So, if they can do that for Marvel, then I'm sold.
Just shut up and take my money.
Exactly. That's all you need. That's all you need.
Although,
but now it's like,
although,
see, like you're doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, even if a lot of people are like, oh my god, if this Marvel 1943 isn't like a Spider-Man open world Insomniac style game, I'm not gonna play it. It's like, really? Then you're missing out. Like all these different genres, even if it's not like the Spider-Man formula or the Arkham formula, you're still gonna get like a cool experience from these developers and try something new, like Midnight Suns or Guardians of the Galaxy. Not Avengers though, but like the good ones.
Is that you? Oh man, I hope Mike saw that from the hospital.
I think that's Ghosty with the wind in his mic.
Yeah. Are you in a hurricane?
That's right. He's calling in the middle of a tidal wave storm.
But no, like with Marvel Rivals, like I'm excited,
cool.
but I will say, I wish it was for consoles. I do have a PC, but to the people
nice.
like you, Evan, who have consoles only.
No, I'm not part of the PC master race. I apologize.
No, it's okay. But yeah, no, I was hoping it would be for console on launch. Maybe it'll be in the future. We'll see.
Fingers crossed. I think it will, because if the game sells well enough, I'm sure the only reason why they're doing PC at first is for like optimization reasons, like maybe for like the matchmaking purposes and other stuff when it comes to, I would say, like PvP online party making for stuff like that. For this, it's like if they do consoles, then I would think that like, oh well, we got fixed first on PC. Now we can do it for consoles.
Yeah, for consoles. Well, actually, I think I remember, because they have an official Discord server, and I joined it, and apparently it was deleted, but apparently they was saying, like, if it's, like, stay tuned for, like, the future for other platforms, but then they quickly deleted that and edited it, so that way it's only PC.
Interesting. So they're like, oh, psych, we don't want to spoil the surprise just yet. That was like, that's the equivalent of like, oh, Xbox is going to release all these Xbox games on PlayStation. Like, oh, what are they? Oh, we don't know. And then all the leaks like, Hi-Fi Rush. Hi-Fi Rush, Hi-Fi Rush. Like, they're all saying Hi-Fi Rush. Like, okay, yes, please. I'm still waiting, by the way, on the physical release, because they said that they were going to partner up with Limited Run Games to do a physical launch, and I'm not kidding. Whatever they release for, like, the big collector's edition physical release, I'm getting it, like, day one. Like, I need it right now. If they do, like, I don't know, a Corsica statue or something, I'm like, uh-oh, there goes my wallet.
Like, I'm already spending enough money, alright? I'm already a broke man.
Right. I'm already a broke post-college graduate. I can't spend that much more. Leave me alone.
I'm almost in my 30s, please.
Please. Leave me be.
So, hey everyone.
Yo.
What's up, my guy?
How's it going, Ghosty?
So, how are you guys doing today?
Well, first off, congrats to Ghosty, by the way, everyone in the chat, for finally getting his PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 5.
Good job.
Yes.
Been a long time coming.
Oh my god.
But now you can bask in the glory of all these games.
You're 4 years late, but welcome to the party.
It's actually better that you wait. Well, you just got the standard PS5, right? You didn't get like the Spider-Man bundle or anything. Are they still selling those? Maybe not.
I got the
Slim.
the PS5.
Right.
The Slim, not the original, but the Slim.
Nice. Yeah, you're gonna make a lot of use of that. I guarantee it.
Yeah, like literally, not even kidding. The first game I played, well, besides Astro's Playroom, which because it was like obviously came bundled with the console. The first game I tried out was like Spider-Man 2. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm playing this right now. Yeah. So.
Absolutely. Good job.
And. Yeah, and I literally I finished it like Friday with the platinum trophy and all that. So I'm like, and after that I'm like, yep, it was good.
Nice, yep, there you go, worth the wait. Solomon McNeil, Evan, what's your online name on PS5? I think you can guess. It's literally just my name, Evan Falarka. It was previously the Abominator.
Abominator.
Yep. Only deep cut people know that know that reference. But yeah, that was my original PSN username. It was mainly
helmet?
Yes, and because there weren't any like cool Spider-Man themed avatars back then. But also, it was because back when I was a kid, I loved the Abomination from the Incredible Hulk movie, but also from the Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction video game. So I'm like, oh, Abomination, Abominator. I can do that. So I try to mix it up a bit, but yeah. Michael Davis too. Evan, be honest. How many times have you played the Don't Be Scared mission, which for those of you who don't know is the Venom mission? Well, again, the last time I was able to play this game, sadly, was in the New Game Plus update. So that was the last time I played the Venom mission. And before that update, we weren't able to replay missions because the mission replay feature wasn't in the game yet. So the only way I could replay it was by replaying the whole game. So when I did that, it was probably at least like 4 or 5 times. And Ghosty, I think maybe you could fix your mic a bit. I think we have a little bit of an echo issue.
Yeah.
No, I was just checking on the stream.
Oh, nice. But yeah, like, I think, honestly, about either 4 or 5 times, I would say, for playing the Venom mission. But you have to remember, that's pretty dedicated because you have to play through the whole game again just to play the mission before the New Game Plus update came out. So I replayed the entire game from start to finish just to replay that mission again. I would say, like, yeah, 4 or 5 times. But now, since the update launched, the last time I played it was for that the live stream.
And it still is good every time.
It gets even better every time. Like, in all honesty. Because now, after I made my Venom video, I have so much more respect for the story that they went with Harry. Because of... A lot of people, I swear to God, and this goes back to the whole, like, suit debate. Like, everyone just wants the classic suit. Everyone just wants things to be like the Raimi movies. It's like, that's not how you get change. And I wouldn't want that either, because that's not how you get new and engaging narratives for these games or films or anything. So, when I saw the Venom story with Harry and doing my Venom video, seeing, like, everyone wanted it to be like, you know, more of a personal story, I think, with Venom. And I want that too, but not for the context of where this story was going. And what they did instead, like, it was personal, but like, it subverted your expectation instead. Like, oh, the symbiote's just manipulating Harry, blah, blah. No, because, like, everything is, like, right there, set in stone. It learned from Harry at first when he was Agent Venom and tried to be a hero with Peter, because the symbiote and Harry were both inspired by Peter and him being a hero that they both look up to at that point. Then, the symbiote bonded with Peter, and it started to feed off of all the negative energy that Peter was feeling at the time because of how he was aggressive when he was fighting, and he was also still grieving over Aunt May's loss. He was getting overconfident with the suit on him. So the symbiote just learned all that from Peter. It didn't start acting evil for no reason. There were reasons behind it. So, in that way, it took from the original Spider-Man Black Suit narrative where the symbiote learned negativity and rage and hatefulness from Peter, and then it bonded with Eddie Brock and gave it all that with what Eddie was feeling. So with Harry, it's the same thing. And seeing that creation of, like, again, it's not about, oh, I hate Peter now, I'm going to go kill Peter. That's not the story that they were telling, and you can even see that when I interview Brian Intar on the channel. It's about loss and regret and, you know, sadness of losing people in your life and what that could do to you mentally. And it's really sad to see that happen for Harry. And thinking, like, yeah, well, I've lost everything. Like, I've lost the EMF. My dad pretty much gave up on me. He's focusing more on Peter now. Like, even though he's like, oh, Harry, like, for all Harry knows, because he, by the way, you have to keep in mind, like, Harry's not really in the loop. Like, Norman's just in the back working on this cure, which isn't the symbiote, which may or may not work. For all Harry knows, it's like, yeah, you can work on it, but everything's failing. So pretty much, I'm going to die. So instead of, like, Norman just saying, like, I'm here for you, son, whatever, he's just keeping focused on his work and not really paying attention to what Harry is feeling emotionally. And also, from the first game, like what I brought up in the video too, like Harry and the EMF and his research stations were shut down by Oscorp because Norman never listens to Harry. Because Harry was only seen as a son by Norman after he got sick. And Harry was seen as weak instead of like a person. He's just seen as a weak individual, which makes him even more resentful towards his dad. Which I love that choice, because it's like, imagine if like he pretty much has cancer. Imagine if you had cancer and you're sick and dying and people that are around you aren't giving you the time of day that you should really deserve. So instead, he's just feeling this pent-up anger and resentment and rage and just lets it out. So when he gets all this power back from the symbiote, when he becomes Venom, what would you do? You just let loose and let it all out in rage. And that's what even Graham said during the interview. Like, Graham Phillips, he's like, Harry wants to be free, and he's bottled up all this stuff as like how he's supposed to act as a like almost pseudo-celebrity. So seeing that come to life with the symbiote inside of him during all those moments when he's like with Peter and all that is really, really meaningful. So I love it. But of course, people want more Venom because Venom's so popular. So they're like, Venom was rushed. It's like, no, it's just that they literally did what they did with Doc Ock with Venom in this game. Like, Doc Ock didn't become Doc Ock until the end of the second act in the first game. That's exactly what happened here for Venom. But Venom's so popular, they're like, well, I want more Venom. It's like, well, you know, we might get that.
Well, although it seemed like they were going to do more stuff with Venom. Like, there was going to be more stuff to do with him, but they obviously couldn't do it because of time constraints. And also
time
because
constraints,
Sony
but
was
also
like,
it didn't fit the narrative that they wanted to tell. Like, they even had the Venomized Sandman concept art, but that's not what they wanted to go with in the end, because it just didn't fit where the story was going. So it's not necessarily about Sony forcing them, because Insomniac is such a well-renowned studio that they would let them cook for however long they wanted. But if there was more that they wanted to do with the story that they just didn't think fit the story that they were telling at the time, then they were like, we'll cut around that and maybe tweak it a bit. But even, Brian Intar said, like, in an interview, like, the final part of the game isn't shaping up the way I want to. But he was mainly talking about, not the story, he was mainly talking about, like, certain things with, I'm sure either, like, cut level stuff, or maybe, like, content when it comes to potential, like, what they might do if they have a DLC. Like, oh, we want to include that in the base game, but instead, like, we'll just work around it. Like, I know a lot of people point out that they have not included the character bios, like the character models in the menu, or the podcast replay thing, like for Danicast or the J. Jonah Jameson stuff. So that could be another reason too. Like, not just for, they cut all this Venom stuff. It's like, no, like, they were just going to use what they wanted to for the story. That's why the same thing, like, when I talked to Tony Todd at the Fan Expo, who plays Venom, he's like, they only used, what was it? Like 10% of his dialogue that he recorded?
Yeah, 10%.
But it wasn't just for, they cut all this massive Venom story stuff. It's like, it wasn't just as Venom. He also said, like, he meant that for, like, scenes where he was recording as Symbiote MJ and Symbiote Miles, because those were other concepts that they were going to work on for the game. But again, it's what the story ended up requesting and dictating. So instead of doing a Symbiote Miles story or making Tony voice Symbiote MJ when she screamed, instead they made Laura Bailey voice her, or decided to choose Laura Bailey instead, or, give Peter all the symbiote stuff instead of Miles. So again, it's just about deciding what to do for the context of the story, rather than just, they got rid of it because. Like, there's more going on than meets the eye, which not a lot of people seem to take into consideration when it comes to these games. Which just tells me that people have zero knowledge of how game development works. They're just like, they just got rid of it, and that's it. Like, no. There's way more going on than what you're even thinking about.
Yeah, and also it's like the other thing that you have to keep in mind is that we don't really know what's going on behind the scenes.
Exactly.
Like, for the most part, they want to keep things like private and secret. That's why we barely know anything about they cut this thing because of this and that. Like, even
we don't know the reasoning.
Nothing. But nothing is ever official. Like, only we have to trust with what we know, what happened. So.
Yes. We can't know until they themselves say it officially. All people are doing instead is just making assumptions, which isn't.
Yeah.
It's not beneficial to the company. It's also not accurate to what the game represents.
Yeah, and the other thing too is that because there's a reason why because even though it is very clear that like there was going to be like more stuff with like because all the concepts of the game really does make it seem like they were going to do basically what was Shadows 2.0. Like that's what they were really seeing.
Well, that's
like they were
what they decided to go with the story because of with the Heal the World plot for Harry, and also just the meteorite with Null, and as I mentioned in my video, it's like the reason why I think at least that the symbiote is deciding to do this with the symbiote invasion. I don't think it's necessarily from the symbiote itself saying, yeah, I'm evil, I'm an evil alien, everyone's going to be evil aliens now. It's like, no, I think it's because even what Dr. Connors said, like, you know, oh, it's off me, like, I feel fine now, but I'm ashamed of what I did, of what Peter did, because at the end, yeah, that was all Peter's decisions doing what he did to Craven and almost killed him. And Doc Connor's like, it's okay, there's so much we don't know, because it's true, because there's, like, more lore going on with the symbiote, and potential stuff with Null, and of course Carnage, and all that, what's going on. So, it's just, again, people are just taking so much that isn't true, or isn't even what happened in the game, or just didn't even pay attention. So, it just kind of irritates me when there's this huge false narrative.
Yeah, and
what goes
yeah, I was just gonna say which by the way, a great video that Evan made about breaking down Insomniac's version on Venom.
Oh, thank you.
Fantastic video, brother. I want to say it absolutely blew me away with how you not only with the writing, but also just like how everything was like, okay, I can see how this actually like makes sense in the narrative of the game.
Thank you.
Because one thing that you have to we have to realize is that this version of the symbiote is different from the other adaptations of the Black
right.
Suit. Like,
and also,
like,
just before I forget, like, Harry isn't Eddie. So if people's main complaint that Venom didn't feel like Venom because he wasn't Eddie, or if you wanted Harry to act more like Eddie, he's not Eddie. So he's not going to have the same motivations and the same narrative drives that Eddie does with Peter compared to Harry. If you wanted that, then at that point your main criticism is that you just wanted Eddie instead.
Yeah, pretty much. And like the thing that I do really like is that they combine elements from like the comics and like other adaptations. So like they combine the like ultimate Eddie Brock, where it's like, oh, he's been childhood friends with Peter, and then like elements from the character of Harry Osborn, and coming up with their own unique take on Harry and the symbiote, and how like it's different, but it's still familiar.
It's still, exactly, it still stays true to what the core elements of Venom are, to like a personality level, but it's a different host, so he's going to act differently. If he was just going to go and kill Peter and MJ and Rio and Miles, then it's just going to be Eddie. But it's not, so it's different.
Yeah, and
which is why if we ever see Venom return somehow in this game's universe, which, fun fact, he actually is already going to be returning in a comic book called Venom vs. Reborn, where Harry is actually still going to be Venom during the events of Spider-Man 2, so it takes place during the events of the game in the comic, which I don't know how that's going to work, but I'm sure that it'll explain it. But that's why, and Franco, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, and Ghosty, you can say too, but like, if they continue with Venom, I don't want it to be Eddie. I still want them to build up what they've already established with Harry and Norman and Peter all together in another, narrative, and further flesh that relationship out. I don't want just them to backpedal, because then that way it'll feel like that they are just pandering to what, whining fans want. Like, oh, I just want Eddie, or like, I want Venom to act like Venom. When in really, exactly, the comic book, pure 100%. I get it. I get you love the comics. I understand. I do too, but I don't want to do that same story beat for beat in the movie or game. I just want them to do their own thing. And what they've done is a great starting point, but there's always room to grow, which is why I'm like, oh, Venom is back, and it's Eddie now. Then that would make no sense. You can't have that entire scene of Harry literally saying, "We are Venom," and not, and now give it to Eddie instead. That would just be really, in my opinion, I feel like that might be a bit disrespectful.
Yeah, and the other thing too,
especially considering how much Graham Phillips loves being Harry. Like, he did a phenomenal job. Like, him and Yuri should have gotten awards for their performances, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing too is that even Brian Intihart said it, and I think it was in a podcast where it's like they don't want to just do like 1-to-1 to the comics, right?
Yes.
Because then at that point it's like you can just
read the comic
by that point.
Yep.
Yeah, and so that is why they want to do things differently. Like, for example, like Octavius in this universe is Peter's mentor in the first game, or Finn Mason is a different character in this universe. Like, she is the Tinkerer, or as we see in this game, Harry Osborn being this universe's version of Venom. So like, It's very clear to Insomniac that they want to do things differently from the comics, rather than just do the exact same things that we've already seen in the comics or in other adaptations.
Right. And there's a great question in the comments, which I feel like I already answered in my Venom video in my intro, but I guess I have to explain it. So, Matef1 asks, why does Harry call himself Venom, though, in the context of the game? Because in the comics, it's about, it's not Venom as a character, it's Venom as the combination. Even Brian says this himself. Brian, when I asked him the question during San Diego Comic-Con, he said Venom is the equation of the host plus the symbiote equals Venom. And he's 100% right, because the shared hatred that Harry or Eddie and the symbiote feel towards Peter creates Venom. That's the whole point of why they say we are Venom. That's why the Spider-Man 3 movie didn't work, because they just ignore that completely, and Eddie just says I.
Yes.
And then even though I think the Venom movie is a worst offender of this, because then they just said I am Venom and the symbiote's name is Venom. That's not it. That's not what it is. So that just made things even more complicated for mainstream, audience goers. My reasoning is where in the game Peter and Harry are fighting Craven, right? And this is when Harry is still Agent Venom. And Craven stabs Peter, and Harry is enraged. And the symbiote, that's the first time I believe the symbiote is feeling rage from Harry. And Craven sees that, and he says to Peter, because he just stabbed him, and he pretty much killed him, he's not as venomous as they say. And then Harry might have heard that, might have not heard that. But what's important is that Peter heard that. And another thing is, the symbiote hates Craven at that point for stabbing Peter, because at that point the symbiote still cares about Peter as a friend. Just like he is learning positivity and happiness from Harry, he's caring and learning about all this stuff about Peter. So not only does Harry view Peter as a best friend, but the symbiote does as well. So when Craven stabs Peter and Peter dies and Harry's there and the symbiote revives Peter, the symbiote then inherits all of Peter's memories. And that's why when Peter's like, oh, this feels good, he's experiencing the power of the black suit and the symbiote and all that. In a way, the symbiote is also saying that as well. So the symbiote is experiencing this power with Peter, but it's experiencing the power of a superpowered person. So in a way, the symbiote's also saying, oh, this feels good, because that's what it's wanted this whole time, is a stronger host to bond with. Not just Harry, who's sick and dying, but a host that can better suit his needs. So, at that point, the symbiote inherited the memory of when Craven said, not as venomous as they say. The symbiote learned what that said from Peter, because Peter heard that, the symbiote inherited that memory and now knows about what it said. So, then, when Peter ditches the symbiote, I want to say this before I do this Sandman thing because I don't want to lose my train of thought. When Peter gets stabbed, bonds with the symbiote bonds with Peter, it gets its memories from Peter. It's learning about that experience with Craven. And during that part where he's fighting Craven, at the end, like, when he's about to kill him, like, they destroyed my life, destroyed the EMF, I'm going to lose my house because of them and Craven. And then the symbiote says, kill Craven. Because that's what the symbiote's been wanting to do since it met Craven from day one. So, because the symbiote at first was a naturally, neutral alien entity in the comics, right? And it learned emotion and feelings from its host. So in the comics, it learned all that from Peter, which is why Peter is blaming himself for the actions of the symbiote, not the other way around. He's not like, the symbiote did this to me, it's the symbiote's fault, it's the alien's fault, it's Peter. He let that happen, which is why Venom is always Spider-Man's greatest failure, because that's what Peter allowed to happen. And he tarnished his great power, great responsibility mantra by over-embellishing in the power that the symbiote provided him. So, in this case, with Craven, the symbiote is still like, I just want to be good for my host. I want to live my life with the host that I'm bonded with. So with Harry, it's like, yeah, I'll stick with this sick guy, but I'll still be an alien wanting to thrive off a host. Not knowing that Peter is such a troubled person that he would indirectly corrupt the symbiote from bonding him with that much longer, right? So when he's bonded with Peter for longer, he's learning about arrogance, overconfidence, hatred, rage, all this stuff negatively from Peter is what the symbiote is learning from that host. And then when Peter tries to kill Craven, the symbiote's like, you're in the way, Miles, like, I'm the solution. Like, I'm not the problem, I'm the solution, because the symbiote at that point is only acting upon what Peter is feeling. He's even in that later mission where you see the Mr. Negative hallucinations with the symbiote killing all the villains. Like, Miles has no clue what's going on. So everything that Miles is saying is really irrelevant because he's not behind the symbiote. Peter is. He's not knowing what the symbiote's doing to him and vice versa. So he's like, the symbiote, it killed them all, is doing all this evil stuff. No, it's not. It's really just acting upon what Peter is feeling at that point in time. If I kill all these villains, then my problem is solved. And that's why Mr. Negative is like, Miles is like, the symbiote, it killed them all. And Mr. Negative's like, problem solved, like, done. He just fixed the issue. And then Miles is like, that's not what Peter thinks. And Mr. Negative's like, no, but that might be how he feels. Because that is what he's going through. He had to lose Aunt May. He had to fight his mentor turned villain with Doc Ock. He fought Mr. Negative and let the Devil's Breath virus go all across New York in this alien invasion too with the symbiote. And Craven killing all of his villains. Because even though Peter wants to stop them, Craven flat out killed, all the other villains with Mysterio, Shocker, Scorpion, Electro, and presumably Rhino. And
yeah, that's right.
And
so
Peter, in the back of his mind, even though Peter, believes in second chances, like what Miles says, that's something that Miles gets. It's like, that's part of the job. What is? Believing in second chances. That's absolutely true, because that's what Spider-Man's all about, is never giving up. Never giving up on yourself, but also others.
Mm-hmm. So,
because of that, the symbiote is not impacting Miles, because Miles is just by himself. He's just separated a lot from the symbiote side of things. The symbiote's literally learning in the deepest, darkest corners of Peter's inner psyche and his heart who he is and what he wants. He wants to kill Craven. He wants to kill his villains. He wants to stop them from harming people in the city just so he can live a normal life with, what he was saying, my job, my house, Aunt May, her legacy. Kill Craven. That will solve everything. That's all coming from Peter. That's not the symbiote forcing Peter to do that. It's only amplifying what Peter's already feeling, which is why Peter's like, Miles, these last few days, you know, I'm so sorry, and I was a jerk to Harry when I had that suit, because he was, Peter was, not the symbiote acting and controlling, manipulating Peter was. It was all on him. So this all goes back to, why does Harry call himself Venom? Why is it that Harry says we are Venom and not, you know, I am Venom, the symbiote is Venom? It's because of what Harry learns back and forth from Peter and the symbiote when it goes and bonds back to Harry. Because at that point, the symbiote kind of makes itself known to Harry that it's an alien. When Harry initially bonds with it, he doesn't know. He just thinks it's this, you know, exosuit that Peter's hoarding away, and he's not giving it back to me. What an asshole. You know, he's my best friend. He wants me to die? Like, what the hell is going on? So that's all that Harry knows at that point. And the symbiote not, you know, revealing to Harry that it's an alien. Harry's still unaware of that fact. Harry just thinks it's an exosuit, whatever. He bonds with it, and then that hatred that he has initially for Peter, and the resentment, you know, the resentment of like, how dare you do this to me? I gave you everything you wanted. I gave you a job. I gave you a career. I gave you my suit that you could be a better hero with, and you just leave me to die? What is your problem? You know, like that. So all that resentment, hate, pent-up anger is amplified within Harry, and then also the symbiote is feeling the exact same thing. So they bond, and that creates Venom. And then, when he's causing that rampage throughout Oscorp, he sees Craven again after he leaves. Like, he sees the hunters, he goes into the city for the first time as Venom, and he just wreaks havoc and just lets loose and lets all that rage and anger that he feels towards his dad for letting him, you know, just be alone that whole time and not really acting like a son, but acting like a thing he has to fix, and towards Peter for being a friend that just threw him in the trash pretty much, and lets all that loose towards Craven and the hunters and the Oscorp guards. Then, the person that started all this, that was the catalyst, like what the head writer John Paquette said, that he's the catalyst for all this happening in the first place, returns. Craven returns. And he wants the ultimate challenge. He wants a monster to fight. And he sees Venom. And Venom sees him, he's like, we were separated because of you. Because of the symbiote loving Peter. Because that was the ideal host for the symbiote, and Peter threw it away. But it was because of the fight that happened with Craven and Miles that happened in the first place. But also with Harry, because without Craven stabbing Peter, the symbiote wouldn't have left Harry to go on to Peter. So they're both feeling resentment and abandonment from each other because of Peter and Craven. But that entire time, Harry is mad at Craven for hurting Peter and also for making the suit separate from him. But the symbiote is mad at Craven also for the same reason, and also for Craven ending up being a reason for why the symbiote is why Peter removes the symbiote. Yeah, you took him away from us. Spidey Fan 07 says, which is another reason. But all that, and like, I pretty much feel like I explained this in the video, but, you know, again, Craven, in one of the dialogues, he says, I see your true form. I see who you are. You are death, cloaked in beast flesh. I've never felt such pain. First off, that's a effing bar if I've ever heard one. That's an amazing line. But also, it shows how
amazing writing.
How amazing writing for Craven, and Jim Peary is an amazing actor to play him. But also, it shows how I've never felt such pain in the terms of like, oh yeah, he's this big hulking monster beating up Craven. No, I've never felt such pain as in sadness. Like, I've never felt such anguish and pain coming from a person, letting it loose onto others. That's what Harry's feeling. And all that pain and anger and hatred and suffering culminates into him and the symbiote doing the unthinkable. They kill Craven. Together, they kill Craven because Harry and the symbiote are equally mad at him. And they proved what Craven said all along since the first encounter. not as venomous as they say. Because the symbiote learned that line from Craven after bonding with Peter and inherited that memory of what Craven said, right? So because of that, it also shared that memory with Harry, and Harry is equally mad at Craven for destroying the EMF, destroying, the bond he had with the symbiote because he, had it separate from Harry unintentionally, but also going after, his legacy and his mom's legacy with the EMF and all that means to him personally. So the symbiote and Harry ended up proving to what Craven wanted them to be, a monster, an entity that could just destroy him from the very depths of his soul to give him what he wanted, and it did. So it proved Craven right, and that's why it embraced what Craven said. We're not Harry. Not as venomous as they say. We are not Harry. We are Venom. And that's my reasoning for it. So hopefully you like that explanation, because that was a huge...
No, it's like Evan just give you like a fucking like philosophy
like my dream
lesson on
and someone said, Evan, you should interview Tony Todd. I've been wanting to like for a long time. I've been trying to get this set up with Tony, but he's a very busy and a very important man. So one of these days we will. But yeah, I really want to talk to him about Venom. Really, really.
And I actually like and so what's your take on like once Peter gets rid of the symbiote and then because Dr. Connor said that even though you got rid of the suit, there's still symptoms of you inside of you after you wear the suit. And
yep.
So, and then after that, you get the encounter with like the mission where Peter gets the Antivenom because Mr. Negative uses power to basically cure his symptoms or like.
Well, there's still remnants. There's still remnants of the symbiote in Peter from almost like Ultimate Spider-Man style, like from the comics and the game, mainly the game. But where Peter got rid of the symbiote, but there's still particles of it left in his body that wanted to rejoin with Venom. So in this case, the main symbiote that Peter bonded with is destroyed because of the meteorite getting destroyed and all that. But that's why there were parts of it left that, Mr. Negative energized with his negative energy. And that in turn, allowed the symbiote to be revived for the Antivenom. But, and even I did a collab video with my boy Comic Blast Keenan about this, is that the same thing can also be said for Harry. Even though Peter used the Antivenom symbiote powers on Harry to get rid of the majority of it, there's still probably parts of it residing within Harry's DNA. Especially considering how Harry was bonded way longer to the symbiote than Peter was. So I'm sure there's probably still bits of the symbiote likely residing within Harry more so than there were on Peter. And even more so, if that's not the case, say that the symbiote really is fully destroyed in the ending, there's still Carnage. So there's still the Carnage symbiote out there somewhere with Cletus. Yes. So I'm sure that even if there is no more symbiote in Harry, then maybe if Peter fights Carnage or something, then maybe a bit of the symbiote could escape and find its way back to Harry or something. That's why when that ending happened in Spider-Man 2, when I first played the game for the first time, that the symbiote got disintegrated after the meteorite was destroyed, I'm nuh-uh. No. No, it's not. And even more so because when you're swinging around the city, there's still symbiotes in the city. So it's didn't we just take care of this? And it's no. Yeah. So that's, it doesn't make any sense.
That makes no sense.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Toshi
Uchiha 7 says, your explanation is very thorough, Evan, but I'm not fully sure why you picked the name Venom. I also remember that Venom looked at his hands after eating Craven. It looked like venom in his veins. Well, that was, again, a cool thing, is both the symbiote and Harry didn't want to do that. The symbiote initially just wanted to help Harry be a better hero because of the positive influence that it learned from Spider-Man, from Peter. And it wanted to be a good, entity. It wanted to just be a supportive entity for its host and just learn off of what they were doing. So even though the symbiote was saying, kill Craven, kill, rip him apart, it wasn't the symbiote saying that. It was just amplifying everything that Peter was feeling at that point. So when it went back to Harry and just felt all that rage and hatred, it wasn't really Harry wanting to do that because, yeah, I'm evil now. It's like, no, he just felt so sad and alone and angry and resentful towards everyone around him, and he expressed that very clearly to all the guards and the hunters that he brutally mangled and broke their backs on. So even though he was like brutally destroying them, like he broke that guy's back, he like bit people, he threw them, he like tossed them around. We don't know if he necessarily killed any of them. Like he stabbed him with the symbiote. He probably did, but let's just say like not like a direct, impactful kill like what Craven is. He bit his head off and ingested it. That was the first time the symbiote probably ever did anything like that. And Harry. So that's why when they finally did kill Craven, they're like, whoa, like there's no going back now. You know, so they were like, they had to process it for a little bit. So that's why he was looking at himself like, what did we just do? And again, I didn't say what did I just do? What did we just do? Because even though Harry says that to his mom's grave, he's just saying that because of him personally. But the symbiote is equally feeling that like, whoa, like they did this to me. I'm what they created. Which again is what I've always said. Venom is a monster of his own making. Of Spider-Man's own making. Venom is a creation of Spider-Man's greatest failures and a monster of Peter's own faults. And that's what we get with Venom in this game.
And I want to know, like, what's your take on Antivenom?
Let me try this suit, actually, with Miles. I wonder if the red dreads go through in the cutscenes. I liked it a lot, and it's also a cool way for the symbiote to be kept in the powers for the story.
And like and
now I'm like, but I am wondering, like, yeah, like, will they keep the Antivenom symbiote? I know what you mean, yeah, like, will they keep the Antivenom symbiote in the third game or whatever they do? And again, maybe that might be answered if we get a Carnage DLC or whatever, and see, like, well, maybe he might have to use all the rest of the Antivenom symbiote stuff to defeat Carnage or something, you know, like, so. I feel like again, I'm looking 10 steps ahead in the future of what's going on with this story. Like, I'm not talking about leaks. I just mean as a fan. Like, even when I beat the game initially, I'm like looking 10 steps ahead. Like, there's no way they're done with this story. Like, this is the beginning of a much bigger narrative that's going on with Venom and the symbiote and all that. And even more so, like I said this in a collab with Comic Blast Keenan, is imagine a story with Spider-Man 3 where we already know that Green Goblin and Doc Ock are going to be the main villains of the game. But imagine if in the story we see Harry return as Venom, and we get a resolving issue or narrative surrounding. He doesn't keep the red dreads. We get a resolving issue surrounding the narrative left with Harry and Norman and that father-son relationship, because there's a lot more there that they can dive into, especially since Norman's resentful towards Peter for what happened to Harry, or Spider-Man, I should say, for what happened to Harry. There's a lot more to explore there, especially if Norman is almost like shifting the blame. He's like, the Spider-Men, they ruined my son. It's like, are you sure? Because I feel like he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want to blame himself again for the loss of another family member, because he lost his wife because of his lack of being able to save her. So if that would happen again for Harry, he couldn't live with himself. So that's why he's like, it's the Spider-Man's fault. It's their fault. That's why it's like, I don't think it's uncharacteristic of him to just, like, wasn't he like a fan of Spider-Man first, and all of a sudden he does a 180 turn towards Peter and Miles? It's like, what have you done to him? What have you done to my son? It's like, this totally on brand for Norman, because he doesn't want to be the center of the blame. He can't live with himself if that was the case. So he just shifts the blame.
He always blames someone else.
Yeah. He doesn't take credit for, or he doesn't take fault for any of his actions. He just thinks like, it can't be me. It couldn't have been me. It's their fault. They're the problem. So let me take them out. You know, that's why he wants to learn from Doc Ock who they are. Which, by the way, I don't know how Doc Ock would know Miles as Spider-Man, but maybe he's smart enough to figure it out. But, yeah. Again, there's so much more. So imagine a huge Spider-Man 3 game finale where you fight Doc Ock, Carnage, and Green Goblin as, like, the big 3 villains, say. And then on your side of the team, you have Peter, Miles, Cindy Moon as Silk, and Harry returning as Venom to team up with Peter. And that way they really can be Spider Pals. I can imagine saying it right now where, like, it would be such a great narrative connect, like a callback in the game story where it's like, remember when Harry called Peter the Spider Pals when he was the Agent Venom? Well, now imagine if he said that when he was actually Venom. And the symbiote, again, after being more than likely puppeteered from the meteorite and the deeper connection it has with Null and everything, now that the meteorite's destroyed, the symbiote can have its own independence and free will gained back, and so can Harry. So now if he decides to rebond with the symbiote, or the symbiote rebonds with him, they can actually figure it out, like how to control the power and team up with Peter. And that's like, and then you get the classic Venom personality, anti-hero, lethal protector that, you know, a lot of people know and love, but with Harry. And he's like, see, we're the Spider Pals now, Peter. It's like, okay, Harry. Like, that, I can imagine that, and it would be amazing. It'd be incredible. What the heck is going on? Don't I... Oh, there we go.
Another gate.
But yeah, enough about Spider-Man 2. Like, I love this game, but there's even more stuff going on now with Marvel. And the really odd Invincible game, which I'm very skeptical towards, given the crowdfunder sounds very suspect. But
Gee,
also,
I wonder where we've heard that one before.
I wonder where we've heard that one before. Anyone with
now
half
it's all microtransactions and
DLC and F you. Do you want a chicken nugget? Like, oh my god. Oh man. Yeah, Spidey Fan 07, you know what's up, my guy. I smell bad symbiote, and it ain't me. Bring it on, Grandpa. Exactly. Like, I would love to see that.
Got it. You want to finally tell me what this is?
All suit prototypes. Feel free
This suit's actually pretty cool. The Red Spectre suit.
Could definitely use this.
That's my favorite out of the digital deluxe edition
Yeah.
suits from Miles.
That one and the Tokusatsu suit, and I feel like there's one more.
That's it for me. It's just those two. The rest I just toss to the side.
Just like, no.
I kick it to the curb.
Oh
I
man.
just kick it to the curb.
You're fired.
Wonder what Ma's gonna say about this.
But yeah, like what we were saying, like, my god, there's so many insane Marvel games going on right now, like, and DC's just... The problem with DC, or more specifically Warner Brothers, is 2 to 3 things. One is David Zaslav just being a complete moron, but number 2 is... I'm sorry, I have to say it, but 2 is...
No, please, speak. It's a...
No, it's fine, I
just
get
being
it.
so dumb, and like, so that's one thing, David Zaslav being a moron. 2 is James Gunn saying that he wants to connect all the games and movies and shows into a singular universe. Like, that's the most moronic thing I've ever heard of. Because that way you get no creative freedom for these developers. You have to forcefully make them connect to whatever you're building. The grander universe is dictating for your movies or whatever, which I think makes 0 sense. So there's that. And then 3, 3 before I forget, is... Oh, yeah, Ghosty?
No, yeah, I just wanted to... Okay, so they did make it... James Gunn, I think he did make it clear that, like, the games themselves are not, like... Some of them will be connected to his universe, but others won't. Just to make that clear.
I hope so, because if they were all connected, then that would make things way more complicated than they need to be. But there is that.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is... that like Marvel's so smart because they're partnering with other developers. They're partnering with people outside of what they own. Because Marvel doesn't really own any developers, or Disney doesn't. They just have, like, you know, partners that they team up with, exactly, the publishers that they can go to. But Warner Brothers, like, they're teaming up with Insomniac, teaming up with Firaxis for Midnight Suns, they're teaming up with Arcane Leon for Blade, they're teaming up with EA for Iron Man, for Motive specifically for Iron Man, a brand new studio that they made. Square Enix for Avengers and Guardians, and all these, Skydance New Media, a brand new company, game, like a brand new game just for them. And they're taking risks and creative freedom, which is very awesome to see them go out because they know how impactful these games are. So they're wanting to team up with the best in the business, the best in the industry. And because of that, they're creating new and innovative experiences that people will really enjoy and love. Yeah, meanwhile, Warner Brothers only is teaming up with the partners that are in their own studios. So Rocksteady, Warner Brothers Montreal, and Monolith. And is that the only two, or are there more?
NetherRealm, technically, yeah.
That's all?
Yeah, but they're more for it in-game.
Oh, I see.
Those are like the only ones that they own that are currently making games, like Mortal Kombat and Warner Brothers Montreal with Gotham Knights and Rocksteady Wizards.
Oh, yeah, I guess so, because NetherRealm is owned by Warner Brothers. Yeah, so I guess, that is another one. Yeah. And yeah, that's why they do Injustice, because they use DC. But see, like, they're not partnering with other developers. Like, give a Wonder Woman game to Sucker Punch. Give a Superman game to Naughty Dog, like, nothing like that. Like, there's no big first-party PlayStation DC game. And I'm sure people would imagine if they announced tomorrow that Sony Santa Monica, who, the creators of God of War and God of War Ragnarok, or just all the God of War games, are going to do like a, full-on
Wonder Woman game.
No, yeah, I was trying to think, because they already have Wonder Woman game.
Flash game.
Green Lantern. Flash, Green Lantern, anyone. Yeah, exactly. Aquaman, like...
The Teen Titans.
That'd be a better one, actually. Aquaman for... freaking Sony Santa Monica because of all the godhood stuff with Atlantis. That could be cool.
Oh yeah, that would be
But see, like that, like they're not partnering with any team or devs that the devs could make.
They only make games. They only letting the studios that they own making their games, which in my opinion that just like makes it more there's less creativity and it just makes it more difficult because at that point you're just basically like working with studios. Yeah, restrictive.
Yeah, it's very odd that like the decisions they're deciding to do over there. Same with again, I have a theory. It may not be a right theory, but it's a game theory nonetheless. So my theory is that I don't care what Rocksteady says. They're like, yeah, we always wanted to make Suicide Squad a live service looter, grooter, shooter, looter, grooter, shooter, looter, grind, loot, grind, shooter fest, like
tedious,
tedious, garbage. Totally uninspired madness.
Always online.
Yeah, always online garbage. And like, yeah, we always want to make that. I'm like, no, the hell you did not. You were mandated by WB Games to make that, but also. Now that they are making it, I'm fully convinced at this point that because of how bad it is, they are trying to make it intentionally fail, as quickly as possible, so that way they can go back to making games that people do want. But even because they released the Jonkler, and it was so bad that they not only they messed up the release of the Jonkler and the Giggler, but also the content is not there because there's no story DLC. It's just like
there's no content.
There's no content. It's just the character
cutscene,
a motion comic cutscene. Which, by the way, when I first saw the motion comic cutscene, like just how it was from Avengers, I'm like, oh, it's over. It's Joe over.
It's Joe over.
It's Joe over for Rocksteady. So when I saw that, I'm like, yep, they're done. Again. They're done ASAP. So when I saw that was Strike 1. Strike 2 was one singular cutscene of DLC story stuff for Joker, and that's it. Step 3, or Strike 3, is, I can't believe I'm actually going to praise Avengers right now, so clip this if any of you feel so inclined to. But Avengers, the good thing about that is that they actually released a character for the game, like a brand new character, and they allowed you to immediately play as that character the moment you downloaded the patch. Yep, I knew you were.
I was literally about to bring up that point. Yeah.
Because you and I share a brain cell.
You can hate Avengers all you want, but it does two things better than Suicide Squad.
Go for it.
One, you don't need an internet connection to play the game.
Correct.
And two, whenever they add new content, you can immediately start playing it and not have to get reset back to 0 and grind for 4 to 8 hours just to get it, or give us $10 and we'll give it to you right away.
Also correct.
Even though we said that everything's going to be for free.
Even though we totally directly lied right to your face. And, exactly, because yeah, you can just download the patch, the new update, for free, instantly play as that character, done. Awesome. And there's a bit of story introduction cutscenes for all of them. So it's just like a beginning and an end. Like, you got the motion comic, which is but then you get like at least a introductory cutscene to what they have going on with the Avengers. So it's like, you know, Spider-Man gets introduced, Hawkeye gets his own mission campaign. They started to dive less and less into that with the other characters that released down the line, like Winter Soldier and Jane Foster Thor. Yeah. But at least at the start, they gave Spider-Man his own story missions, and Hawkeye and Kate Bishop. Black Panther got his own massive expansion.
Yeah.
So at least they did that, but you could like unlock them instantly. For Suicide Squad, you have to grind. I don't know how many long hours you have to do that for, but
4 to 8 hours.
4 to 8 hours, insane. But because of that, they pretty much are saying for you to buy the character instead.
Yeah, you want to play the new character? Oh, you don't want to grind 4 to 8 hours? Okay, then give us $10.
Too bad.
Even though we said that everything's going to be for free.
Give us money.
Give us more money, and that's not going to last. So because of that, I feel like. So all that is to say, I feel like that they are intentionally deciding to make this game fail because they want to move on to a game they actually care about.
Like Wonder Woman.
Like Wonder Woman. Well, that's not Rocksteady, but yeah, pretty much like have WB Games like allow them to say, hey guys, remember that Suicide Squad game that was literal garbage? So yeah, let's not do that and actually make something that we want to make. But even worse is that it can't really go back to how things were because the heads are gone. Like Septon Hill and Jamie Walker, who were the main co-founders of Rocksteady, they dipped.
They jumped the ship.
They jumped ship because they knew where it was going, and I applaud them for that. So because of that, it doesn't say like, oh, it's just because this is a live service game that Rocksteady sucked at it. It's like if they did another Batman Arkham game, things would be fine. It's like, I don't think so. Like, it'd be like saying, oh, Spider-Man 3, like, Marvel's Spider-Man 3 is going to be made. And, oh, by the way, Brian Intar left, and Ted Price, the main CEO of Insomniac Games, he left. Jacinda Chu, she left. Like, if they all said that, like, oh, it's the same Insomniac. No, it is not. So, people people are in denial, and I get it because Rocksteady was amazing, but you got to be, more aware of what's happening in the industry. So
you have to also keep in mind that Arkham Knight was made in 2015.
Yes.
And Suicide Squad was released in 2023. So that's like almost like what, 7 or 8 years that they haven't done.
Way too big of a gap. Exactly. So because of that, they're just like not really the same studio they once were. Just like how Insomniac was initially, like Ratchet and Clank focused, Resistance, and then they shifted to Sunset Overdrive. While that's a new game for them, it's still the same people and heads in charge of the company. Like Ted Price was still the CEO back then. Brian Intar was still working at the company back then, just not as the creative director. He was in a lower role because he wasn't doing Spider-Man yet. But because of all that, it was still the same company. Now it's like, what even is Rocksteady anymore? So that's the big problem. Is like even if they do another game, they're not the same team that they once were. That team that you know and love, they're long gone.
Yeah, it's the same thing that you can say about like that's what happened with Crystal Dynamics when they're like, oh, it's made by Crystal Dynamics who made the Tomb Raider games. I'm sure Avengers is gonna turn out great. It wasn't.
It was not. It wasn't.
No.
It's like that scene from The Social Network with Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like how much, what was his share diluted down to? It wasn't. What was his share diluted down to? It wasn't. So it's like, is Jamie Walker still in the studio? He's not. Is Sefton Hill still in the studio? He's not.
He's not.
Are they still making Batman Arkham games? They're not. Like.
And the thing too is that both Sefton and Jamie they just actually started a new studio. Like they actually just founded a studio.
Because they're actually wanting to do the games that they feel like would be good, and they don't want to dilute from that, which is fantastic.
And they said that they wanted to do they want to focus on making AAA quality console games, which I'm like, that's great. I'm wishing the best of luck to them.
Right.
That everything goes well. But yeah, it's like Jesus Christ, like seriously, Justice League. I'm more like Justice League kill Rocksteady.
Right. Rocksteady kill their own studio league. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like I'm just salty because it's like you have this amazing blueprint for what you trailblazed through the gaming industry with the Batman Arkham series and all these great narratives. And then it's like, yeah, if you want to chase the latest dragon of the live service model just to try and make a quick buck, you can, but you're not going to really do it all that well because
go for it.
Yeah, go for it. If you want, but I don't know if you're going to.
Just don't come crying if it just blows up in your face.
Exactly. And it's like, yeah, this is all going to be way better than those previous games. It's like everything you're doing is the exact same. So I'm seeing the red flags from a mile away. In fact, you're doing it worse because online, always online, forced battle passes, super expensive cosmetics and character buying, grinding, yeah, like looter shooter nonsense. Just like, what are we doing here? And that's why same boss fights, repetitive mission structure, no innovation, nothing. Like even if you want to do the genre of live service, at least do something different in that.
It's like I think PlayStation themselves, they knew this because notice how after Jim Ryan left, they pretty much were starting to cancel projects and even shut down studios, and I'm assuming that those projects are probably live service related or something because otherwise
it wouldn't surprise me.
What's the point of canceling the? Yeah, and so it really does seem like when Jim Ryan was still as the head of PlayStation, he was really leaning towards live service games, which I was not really looking forward to, really.
And now it seems like the opposite because I know I totally agree because that was the big push was all the live service elements they wanted to push for all these future games, but now they're more inclined to say, you know what, because that's what they did with Naughty Dog. It's like, if we were to do a live service game for The Last of Us, it would internally change our entire studio into a live service studio. And then they said, well, we're not going to do that. I'm like, thank the Lord, because you would have just forced one of your best developers of all time to just another live service cash grabber, which is what they did with Rocksteady, and that's what they were, may or may not have done with Insomniac. I won't say why, but you know why if you know what I'm talking about. But now the fact that they're, staying with their bread and butter of the single-player experiences, open world possibly, narrative-driven, third-person action-adventure, that's what matters.
Yep. Sayonara line, Jim Ryan.
Yes.
Even
oh my God, they're all good
dead. Even if Naughty Dog hasn't made a new game since 2020 with The Last of Us Part 2, ever since then, they only done remasters and remakes.
Crazy. I just realized there's no music going on right now in the background. I don't know why. Thank you. $2 donation from Comic Book Reporter with a very interesting question. Evan, how do you not have a girlfriend when you're so nice? Who says I don't? Or maybe, who knows? Anyways, no. No, I, in all honesty, I've been so, you guys don't understand. So first when I was in, like, when I was attending San Francisco State University last year, while maintaining the channel and doing all those videos, I was simultaneously still going from class to class, back to back with video stuff and doing assignments and everything. And then since then I moved out and returned back home, but I haven't been able to go to any cool areas or conventions or whatever to meet someone like that. So I've just been focused on my work, literally, with the channel, but also with adult work, personalizing my resume and portfolio and all that. And I posted this on Twitter, and I won't say in the chat because I wanted to keep it secret, but I'll tell Franco and Ghosty after the stream is over. But I almost got hired for a dream job. Seriously, because of the work I've been doing outside of the channel. And I got to the interview process to interview for the job. And they said, oh, great, we'll contact you again with our decision soon. And then I got an email saying, thank you so much for your time, for interviewing and all that. We really appreciate you. You made a great impression on the team, but we've chosen someone else. And I'm like, you know what? I totally understand that. At the very least, I'm just super thankful for the opportunity and beyond baffled where I've been able to get to this point because of the hard work I poured in. So, but even here, where I live in San Francisco, trust me, you would think in the movies you see the Golden Gate Bridge and the big city and all the cool, homeless people or whatever. It's it's not all that great. Trust me, it's more of a you want to go home and take a hot shower rather than, spend any more time there. Honestly, it's just, I went to, even earlier today, I went to a farmer's market in San Francisco near the university that I attended. Mm-hmm. And it's all hippies and bums, and just I went there to get groceries just for the house, but I'm just oh man, this I feel like I gotta clean myself off after this.
No, I feel you, man.
But trust me, the only love in my life I need is Spider-Man and PlayStation, and Hi-Fi Rush, honestly, and the Spidey Squad. And Persona, of course, and a lot of other things, but mainly just the boys, all the boys.
The boys. One day we're gonna make it happen.
One day, I know. One day, eventually, we'll all do a huge Spidey Squad meetup, and it's gonna be awesome. I promise.
And it's gonna break the internet.
It will single-handedly break Elon Musk's Twitter profile, X profile.
X.
My bad. Oh my God.
I'm just saying, we're almost 2 years away until it's 10 years.
That's crazy.
I know, I was 16 years old when we first started, and then by that time I'd be 26.
Same here. It's crazy too. Just seeing where we started from and how far we've come since then is baffling. And yeah, even seeing some earlier videos I did when I was 18 years old, and even my first ever professional interview with Brian Intar, I was 19 years old when I did that. So it's just wild to see how far everything's changed since then. Michael Davis too. Respect the sacrifices Evan has made. That's very kind of you, Michael. I appreciate it. Well, I do it for you guys because you guys matter more than anything. That's why even you might have seen it where back when Spider-Man 2 was releasing, I was hosting weekly giveaways for items for the game. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was for a poster or an autograph from Najee Jeter and all that. That was all out of pocket from me. I wasn't being sponsored by PlayStation or anything. I just I got all this cool Spider-Man memorabilia, which I easily could have kept for myself. But I said, you know what? No, we've been waiting for this game for 5 years since the first game came out, and it's such an impactful experience, and I want to share it with all you guys. And I got I had one of the prequel comics for Spider-Man 2 when they were releasing those, but it wasn't autographed yet. But when I went to that PlayStation event that I got invited to, I brought it and I asked them if they could autograph it, and they did. And then I could have kept it, but I didn't. I gave it to a fan for a giveaway. So it just shows that you guys mean a whole lot to me, and I wouldn't be here without all of you. So thank you again for all your support.
We love you so very much.
Thank you. Even like like when I love you too, Franco. But even like honestly, but even like for the the streaming. The reason, like, why is your mic so bad, Evan? Like, why don't you do a face cam? It's like, I'm honestly just live streaming through my PlayStation right now. I don't have a live streamer set up or Twitch account or anything, honestly. So just like, I stream with what I have, with what I'm given right now. But one of these days, when I do have more resources or income or whatever, I will invest in like the gamer setup that you usually see for all these content creators. But literally right now, like, you see me in the face cam and some of my other videos I've done, it's just like in my room with my laptop and those posters in the background. That's it.
They must be real good if they found him.
Yeah, like
and
like,
what is it, like
he's not like
7-year-old microphone? Like, it's super old. I don't even have a new microphone. I've just been using the same one since the one I first got.
No, yeah, and also like this 7-year-old laptop that he bought since in a Best Buy.
Yep, in a Best Buy, and I almost got broke because the screen snapped by accident because I guess just from extended use, and I almost got rid of it. But luckily, some guy I met was able to fix it, and I've like been super careful with it since.
That's your baby, man.
That is my baby. The day that thing goes is gonna break my soul.
No, yeah,
we'll prepare a proper funeral for it.
Thank you. A good candlelight send-off.
I'll make sure I will give it a beautiful speech for its send-off.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. It'll mean a lot.
We are here to see and say goodbye to Evan's laptop.
Oh boy, we're gathered here in memoriam of Evan's Spider-Man machine. That he's used for almost a decade of his life.
DC and Marvel fan 29 in the chat says, Evan, will you ever play Batman the Telltale series, both season 1 and season 2 on stream?
I would like to, if you guys are interested. I don't know why. I really want to play Hi-Fi Rush on stream, but
I was like, where the hell is that, man? I'm waiting for it.
I know, and I wanted to do it because when I played it, it was at night. So, and it was weird, it was crazy, because when that came out, it was on March 19th on the PlayStation 5, because it finally came out on the PlayStation. So I got it March 19th in the afternoon, and I played it all afternoon because I was waiting so long to do it. I didn't stream it because I had to prepare for GDC, because the next day I went to the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, which is like the big business, presentation-oriented stuff rather than like an E3 thing. But I had to go there, and I went there the very next day throughout the whole week, so March 20th through the 22nd. And then on the weekend, I had to focus more on some of the, adult work I was focusing on with, like, building my resume and my portfolio and networking with all the people that I met at the conference and getting their LinkedIn info and contact info and DMing them. So I didn't have time to stream, and then by the time I knew it, it was already the next week. I'm like, well, I don't know if I have any time then either, because I was just also going back and forth from, making the Venom video. No, I already did the Venom video before the GDC, I think, right? Yeah, that's right. The Venom video came out before GDC, but I was pretty much just still focusing on all the adult work and stuff I had to do, but it was a lot, and I did it, and I'm like, man, I really still want to stream Hi-Fi Rush, but it was already too far in the week for me to do it at that point. But I will. One of these days I will, I promise.
Although we can promise that
you better, otherwise I will fly down there and I will smack you right across the face and be like, how dare you not? You promised.
You liar! How dare you false promise this game that no one will watch?
How dare you give me hope?
Yes, exactly.
Like the stream is probably gonna get like 20 views or something because it's not Spider-Man related.
Exactly.
I won't make that happen.
Oh, thank you.
I will not let that happen.
Thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, if they see the Corsica boss fight, I don't think anyone would click away from that, to be honest. I sure as heck wouldn't.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on. But, yeah.
So good.
Oh, wow, we've already been streaming for over 2 hours. Okay, let me do the rest of these Aaron Davis missions, and then the Brooklyn Visions mission. And then I might call it quits, because it's almost already 4.
Alright.
But yeah, like, we've been talking about so much stuff during this stream, but thank you all for tuning in. Genuinely, it means a lot, and I'm very appreciative for all of you who even decide to watch and or tune into any video I make, stream or otherwise, because it really means a lot. But yeah, it's wild just to see all these games being made right now with Marvel and how dedicated they are to the medium of gaming. Like, you want an RPG type game? Play Midnight Suns. You want an open world game? Play Spider-Man. You want a story-driven, level-based game? Play Guardians. Like, there's so much innovation to be found within these experiences. It's insane. And something for everyone. You want a Overwatch style looter? PvP shooter?
Team-based, yeah.
Team-based shooter.
PvP, yeah.
Play Marvel Rivals. Like, that's so cool that they're doing all that. Meanwhile, it's like, yeah, let's just do a live service game, and one game every 5 years for like DC, if we're lucky.
No, and also speaking of Midnight Suns, I actually got around to I started to play it yesterday actually. So
nice.
I'm actually getting through it.
And
it's really good. I'm actually really liking the game. It's definitely like not like I was a little off about the card system in the gameplay, but then I was like I kind of got like used to it.
I totally get that. Like a lot of people, like even in my initial like trailer reactions for Midnight Suns, I'm like, I don't know about this card thing. Like, I know that that's what they're known for like, well, not like the card stuff, but like the more tactical-based XCOM stuff. So I'm like, well,
yeah.
They're trying to do cards to make it more different than XCOM, so I get it. But then, yeah, when I played it for myself, I'm like, I just see it now as like an extension of Persona, like the turn-based stuff. So instead of like choosing, like, yeah, do this, do that, you actually get to like randomly choose whatever you get from the the cards. But man, it's so fun to like mix and match all the powers.
And I got to the so I got to the part where like there's this mission where you have to find so you're with Blade and Captain Marvel, and you have to go to what's this guy's name with the glasses that is like I forgot his name, but like yeah, so I got to that part and like I'm really liking the game so far. It's very different from your usual Marvel like AAA game and all that, but like but it's unique. I'll give it that. Like it's a unique game for what it is.
Yeah, like even if it's not like your preferred genre, like a Spider-Man, for example, it's still like it is what it is, and it does it well. You know what I mean? Like it's being a turn-based, tactics-based experience, and it's good. And they made it good because it's an enjoyable time, and I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now they're both equipped.
And I will never understand that people are like, oh, the game looks like a mobile game. It's like, well, just no, no. Like this looks better than a mobile game because it actually is like it's actually a good game with a really good story.
Right. If anything, it's more like Persona than like I remember like Franco and I, we did that stream, didn't we? Like playing through the game. Like you get to do like you get to bond your friendship with Peter and Venom even like.
And like I remember we were talking like when we were talking about like when like some of the reviews were coming out, people were like, I don't really like the whole bonding mechanic of like with your teammates. I'm like, you've never played a Persona game.
You never played a Persona game ever. Yeah, exactly. The casuals. Exactly, like, and now it's like, oh man, I was so wrong about Midnight Suns. Like, there were like so many people on Twitter after Spider-Man 2 came out. I swear to God, they're like, Midnight Suns did Venom better than Spider-Man 2. It's like, oh my God, where was this when the game first came out?
Yeah. And the same thing with Guardians. Oh my God, where were you when Guardians came out?
Exactly.
Maybe we could have had a sequel.
And also, that criticism makes zero sense because one is literally like comic accurate Eddie Brock and Peter in a video game like brought to life. Because that's what the whole point of the game is to pretty much be like the comic. Like, that's such a dumb criticism, because it'd be like, man, I can't believe, Spider-Verse has a better Miles story than Spider-Man 2, it's like, yeah, because Spider-Verse is literally all about Miles, whereas Spider-Man 2 is about Miles and Peter together. So, I don't know. Like, a lot of weird criticisms that don't make any sense. But, yeah, like, Midnight Suns, like, I can't believe Peter and Eddie have a better relationship as Spider-Man and Venom than Harry and Peter in the Spider-Man 2. Like, it's like, the point of Midnight Suns is to literally be a comic book brought to life. Whereas Spider-Man 2 is, like, being completely different from the comics. So, it makes zero sense where that criticism comes from.
No, yeah, it's like it's like because Midnight Suns is like it's pretty much trying to be just like, you know, comic book like brought to a video game pretty much, whereas like Insomniac, that is just their own thing. Like that's just doing their own thing with Peter and the symbiote.
Exactly.
So it's like that criticism is just dumb, and it's dumb, stupid, cringe.
Oh man, that was sick. Oh wait, can I try that again? I almost did a perfect web glide through that bridge. But yeah, it'd be like say for example like the Venom movie with Carnage. Do I love that movie? Not one bit. Do I appreciate them for at least trying to do something slightly different, I guess, with how Carnage is portrayed? Yeah, because at least they're bringing their own aesthetic into the experience. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Like,
I almost did better the first time.
I thought like the movie was alright, but you know we can't deny that the posters were like the best part about the movie.
Yes, like whoever makes those Venom movie posters, they cook off. Yeah, that one. Yep. You know me, I love those.
Yeah, I know you.
The duality posters, I like to call them. That and also the which I wish more Spider-Man related movies or games did it, where it's the eye, like the lens. And there's a character in the lens.
Oh yeah.
Like they did that with the Spider-Man 1 game and with the Green Goblin in the Spider-Man lens, and even actually Across the Spider-Verse, coolly enough, did it sort of with like the Miles and Gwen poster, and then there's Miguel and the other Spider people in Miles' lens.
Yeah.
That's not as close, but it's close enough. But like like where the whole poster is just the eye, and I think someone did a poster where it's Venom's eye and Carnage is in the reflection for the Venom movie. And that was sick. And I love posters like that.
No, yeah, and speaking of, it's like so like in the case that like that we do get. So Evan, I wanted to know, like, if you were to pitch a Venom game in the Insomniac universe, what would be your pitch for that game?
A Venom game in the Insomniac universe?
Yes.
Well, still keep it Harry. Because I think that making it Eddie would be a mistake, because they've already done such a great job fleshing out Harry's character in this universe instead of just Eddie. Which is why I was like a bit. Now I'm a bit conflicted, like with Silk being introduced, because it's like, okay, the whole reason why this universe is so cool is because we got two Spider-Man in here with Peter and Miles, and they naturally included Miles into the story because he's not from another dimension. He's already in this universe. So now are we led to believe that Cindy Moon Silk was also bit by the same spider that Peter was? Or is it maybe they'll do a twist where it was bit by the same spider that... No, it couldn't have been Miles, because Miles killed the spider that he immediately got bit with. So I was going to say maybe Miles it could be instead, but no, it has to be Peter now because... of what happened, or maybe she's not even bit yet by the spider. We don't know. So there's a lot of things where I'm like, yeah, like what's happening? Is it happening? You're right, but if big emphasis on if they do a Venom game in the Insomniac universe, I'm hoping that we get more of an established, because you know me, I freaking love Venom. Like Venom is my all-time favorite Spider-Man villain, and possibly one of my favorite comic book characters of all time. So if they do a fully standalone Venom, AAA Venom game, and remember, this is a Venom game, not just like whatever. This will be the first standalone Venom game ever made. So that would be amazing. And I also kind of want it to be Harry again, just to piss off the diehard Eddie Brock fan base. It's like, yeah, because it's still Harry. What are you going to do about it? No, but if they do Eddie, I hope they have a good reason as to why it's Eddie. But for Harry, my main thing is, they've already done such a great job establishing Harry in this universe with Peter and his dynamics. And the symbiote, they've already laid a great foundational groundwork with what's going on with the symbiote lore, with its potential connection to the meteorite and the hive mind and all that. And I think it'd be great if they expanded upon that and the interrelationship that Harry would have with the symbiote. Not just, oh, the symbiote's controlling Harry because of its relationship with the meteorite and the meteorite's controlling the symbiote instead. But instead, you know, elaborate further upon Harry possibly being revived out of being from in a coma, and then the symbiote being little remnants of it still left into Harry's body. And then, yeah, how does he grip with being Venom still? And what I hope is, how does he redeem himself? Because a lot of stuff about Venom in the comics actually is also kind of about redemption, which is with the anti-hero stuff comes in. It's like, yeah, we want to only kill Spider-Man. But then he's like, well, I can be a hero too, but I'm going to be it my own way and protect the innocent, but I'm also going to be vicious and hurt people. So that's the side of Venom that I like, but I always find it more compelling when he's directly going against Spider-Man, which is why, he, like, again, the whole reason why Venom exists is because of Spider-Man. So I hope that if they do a Venom game with that in mind, that they still make sure, like, yeah, we got Venom, and Peter will still play a prominent role in, like, Venom possibly returning and saying, like, it was my fault that Venom exists. And he says that. I even put that in my Venom video, like, this is your fault, Pete. You gotta fix it. Because it is. He allowed all this to happen with his arrogance with the symbiote. And I'm hoping that we could see that shine through further with a game, if we get one, hypothetically speaking. And, yeah, I'm very curious to see what could happen. But mainly, like, the whole dynamic with Venom is much more compelling with Spider-Man. So I would hope that they do a Venom game. So another thing is, we start off Spider-Man 1 with fighting Kingpin. Fighting Kingpin as Spider-Man. Miles Morales started off with playing that with Miles Morales fighting Rhino with Peter because he's still learning the ropes, which I loved. And that chase sequence was awesome. Spider-Man 2 immediately starts off with fighting with Peter and Miles simultaneously, a giant Sandman destroying, Manhattan or Brooklyn or wherever it was. Queens? Where was it that Sandman attacked? Was it like Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Yeah, I thought so. So yeah, start off with there and how awesome was that?
Hold on. No, hold on.
They were in Brooklyn. They went over the bridge. It was Manhattan. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
See, I get my geography all mixed up too. But yeah, like, so now, and we were asking, like, how do you start Spider-Man 3 off, right? Like, how in the world would that game begin? More importantly, if they do a Venom game, what is that going to look like? And I hope, and imagine how cool this would be, because Peter, and I want to focus on the black suit while talking about this, because it's like, my train of thought would be lost if I just played the game simultaneously. So, if they do a Venom game, hypothetically speaking, and it's in this universe, I want the opening mission to be a fight where you play as Venom fighting Spider-Man. Imagine how sick that would be. And the tables have turned where you fought Venom as Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 and these other games, of course. But if we get a Venom game and you see Venom fighting Spider-Man because of, like, he comes out of a coma, Harry's back, but he's still, like, even though Harry's like, let's heal the world, Pete, together, and he's still, like, he still cares about Peter, but Harry could be still in, like, a state of distress because of being in a coma and not really knowing what's going on, so he could briefly, like, fight Peter, like, what are you doing? How'd this happen? Why am I Venom again? Or, like, something crazy. And I think it'd be really cool if they flip that table, where you play as Venom and you have to fight either Peter or Miles, or both of them, and then take him down and see where that could go. And then you team up, and then you fight Carnage. That'd be amazing.
No, that gas truck's not gonna last much longer.
And, even more importantly, is that they already laid out the groundwork, which is why, like, I don't care what that ending says, where it's like, oh, the symbiote disintegrated from the meteorite being destroyed, and all the symbiotes in the city got blown up because the particle accelerator. I'm like, even if that's the case, which it's not, because the Carnage symbiote's still out there, they literally have an entire move set of special abilities for Venom that they didn't finish making. like in the special ability wheel, like he has two. He has the slam and the rage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's still the L1 triangle and L1 X that are still, missing. Imagine if they added more for a DLC or a standalone experience. Further flesh out that moveset. More combos, more symbiote powers, traversal abilities. It's all there. And it's going to be nuts. If it happens.
If it happens, because we don't know if everything that Insomniac plans for their games is still happening or not, especially considering, what they went through last year. And so...
Again, we won't say anything, but as we've said before, nothing is set in stone. Especially, like what you said, with all the sadness they had to go through, anything can change, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why it's people are banking on, the leak said this, so it must be happening. It's you understand that they probably set out that stuff, years in advance.
Way before.
Way in advance. You don't, again, people don't know how game development works. So they're yeah, this is all going to happen, right? And when it doesn't happen, they'll be pissed because, guess what? Plans change. And they definitely changed their plans given what the awful hacking situation that they went through. So their inner priorities have massively shifted.
Take care.
No, 100%.
Let's see, it's 3:40 right now. Okay, guys, I'm gonna do probably the Brooklyn Visions mission, and then we might hop off. Again, I love playing this game so much.
Would you consider this game better than the first game, or is it on par?
Okay, so gameplay-wise, nothing tops it. Gameplay-wise, this game is flawless. The swinging is incredible. Soundtrack is also incredibly amazing. When I've been working on my videos, I've literally just been listening to the Miles Morales Act 3 music in the background, or the Black Suit Spider-Man Act 2 music in the background, and it's just the best music. Again, Venom, I thought was handled really, really well, especially for their own individual portrayal of the character. I thought it was really fleshed out in a way. I'm hooked now, and I want to see more of this character because there's a lot more to explore there. But there's so much going on within the story that I get why some people might think it could get a bit lost in translation, which is why the first game is so straightforward, because unlike the Arkham games where you're literally just focusing on Batman the entire time and you only play as the sidekicks in the DLC or whatever, it's all Batman all the time. Whereas this, it's not only is it Spider-Man a majority of the time, but it's also the inner parts of Peter and Miles and what they're going through. And it's not only just Peter, it's Miles too, and his story. So they have to balance a lot of stuff, exactly like Aunt May says, balance is a process, not a destination. So there's a lot of things that you have to mix and match with the narrative, and keep in mind the greater picture that's being told in the background. So I get why people are oh, this isn't good. It's it's not that it's bad, it's just that it's not as rounded as the first game is, because that was a straight story about Peter and Doc Ock, and also Mr. Negative and MJ too. But it had a clear focus. Same with Miles, because it was also much shorter and it only focused on Miles. This again is focusing on Peter and Miles simultaneously, and I honestly don't think I've seen anything like that in a Spider-Man game of this magnitude before, other than Edge of Time, which was the more story-focused of the Beanox games, because in Shattered Dimensions, that was more just arcade action, really. There wasn't really a big story going on there. It was just about find the fragments and play as all these Spider-Men. That was really it. In Edge of Time, there is an actual story going on within that game, but I just can't stand the dialogue and the relationship that Miguel and Peter have with each other in that game. It just comes off as so argumentative all the time, 24/7. And it's also, they're not using logic, because they're talking about all this time stuff with the time travel, and my whole point is, during the scene where Peter is arguing how dare you not save MJ? Miguel, she's my girlfriend, you have to save her because you're Spider-Man. It's Peter, are you dumb? If you just stop atrocity from destroying everything in the time stream, everything will go back to normal. Because that way it's a paradox and nothing would have happened in the first place.
Hey, Miles.
So, I don't get it. And whatever. Like, weird plot line makes no sense. But I'm talking about like this, like an Arkham-style game of that magnitude for Spider-Man. And they have to balance Peter and Miles. So to answer your question with a very long and an answer, Ghosty, Spider-Man 1 has the best story. Miles Morales has the best atmosphere because the winter time and the environment and how culturally fresh Harlem is. But Spider-Man 2 has the best gameplay for sure.
Looking fresh. Thanks.
Yeah, I will say, like, for me, even though the story is
and I really like the story for the second one. Not to say it's bad. I'm just saying that I prefer the first story, and of course, maybe slight bias here, the Spidey Squad's in the first game. So, I mean, come on.
I agree with you there, but it's just like, for me, the story, it just took a bit of a step down in comparison, because it's like, for me, I feel like there was like a lot of stuff that like just felt like rushed at times. Like, obviously, I'm not saying that they should like make the story longer or anything. Like, obviously, no. Like, I'm not asking for like a 60-hour experience or anything. Obviously not. But like, just like spend more time with the characters, maybe like actually like maybe like see like, I don't know, because I feel like the whole black suit arc, the way that it was handled, it almost felt like a speed run. It's like, oh, here's the black suit. We're gonna speed run through all of this stuff just to get to the Venom stuff. And so, but like I get what they were trying to do. It's just that for me, I just wish that we could have spent just a little bit more time with
that's the thing.
using the black suit. Yeah.
That's the beauty of it being a video game, is because you can choose how long you spend in the black suit. Because, like I say in my video, like Act 2 of this game with Peter pretty much comes off as like a race against time, because his whole point is that he wants to get rid of the suit to give it back to Harry. But then at the end of it, he decides, you know what, I can do everything by myself with this suit. I don't need to give it back to Harry. I want to keep it. And during that time, though, you can choose, because they introduce them way early in the game, where they have the Craven the Hunter bases. And or you can fight the enemies with Miles or Peter, and then Miles can do his own base, or Peter can do his own base, and you can choose to decide whatever you want to do with either of them. But what I do for like what I call like the canon playthrough, like what do you do like with these missions? I spend them all those bases. I don't touch any of them with Peter or Miles until Peter gets the black suit, and then I go after all of them, because then Peter is on this rampage, because he's like, oh, you know, Lizard, you know, we have to stop Lizard. We have to turn Connors back to normal so we can help Harry, and Harry's dying. You know, we gotta save him, Doc. And Craven, too, is like, you know, they destroyed my life, Craven. So during that, I do all the bases with Peter in the black suit, because not only does that make sense for him to want to take out all of Craven's men, and it fuels the anger of the symbiote even further, but also there's unique dialogue in those scenes where Peter's wearing the symbiote. So before he's like, oh yeah, we took out this base, and Genki's like, yeah, we did, and Peter's like, great job, Genki, you know, keep me in the loop of what's happening. Instead, Peter's like, in the black suit, he says, you know, oh my god, Craven's daughter just got shot. They're all dead. And Peter's like, don't know why we expect anything else from Craven. Good riddance. The city is safe. I'm like, that's my boy right there. That's Bully Lowenthal to a T. So,
yeah,
So the cool thing is you can choose to do what you want with the black suit in the game, and that's part of the beauty of it.
No, yeah, it's like, although I feel like I did those, because I did the Craven bases, I think I did it too early, because I did those right after getting the black suit, so like after the mission where I got the black suit, so I think I did those like a little too early, because I didn't get to hear the good riddance line that Yuri says, and so, but yeah, but I will say this, my top 3 favorite moments in Spider-Man 2, and I said this to Evan actually yesterday. My top 3 favorite moments would be number 3, the whole Venom mission. Honestly, it's just way too good. Number 2, yes, Miles confronting Martin Lee at Craven's mansion or hide or whatever. That moment was great in my opinion. Not because it was like it was all coming in circle, because it was like Miles confronting the killer that the guy that killed his dad in the first game, and so that was a great moment, and also like the fight that you had with Martin Lee, where he's actually like you actually see like he brings like Peter, Genki, Rio, like all expressing their like the negative thoughts that he has.
That one was really great. I think that's one of the reasons why Najee won the BAFTA.
Yeah, like he did great in that moment. And then obviously like my number one favorite moment for me is Miles versus Peter. Like Miles versus Peter in the black suit. That whole moment was fantastic in my opinion. And also that's the moment where I feel like Yuri Lowenthal was absolutely freaking robbed of an award, of an Oscar, and also just an award at the Game Awards. I was like, did they really just like not give this man an award despite like his incredible performance in this game, and in that moment in particular, like my God, but yeah, so what were
all those moments
your top
are
three favorites?
amazing.
What were your top three favorite moments to both Evan and Franco?
For me, my favorite's obviously Venom. Number 2 would be I think it's basically the same where Peter versus Craven, and then afterwards Miles versus Peter.
I can't believe like those moments are back to back too. Like it's amazing.
Yeah. So that's kind of like my number 2 because they basically happen back to back, and then number 3, probably the opening sequence with Sandman.
That one was incredible.
So what is your top 3 favorite moments, Evan?
Well, I think you know me. Like, yeah, number 1's Venom for sure. Number 2 is Peter versus Miles, or Miles versus Peter. And then 3 is like getting the black suit for the first time. Like that whole sequence with like this feels good, and hearing Yuri's performance as well. Like I was like, I waited for that for like 5 years since the first game. Like seeing the symbiote teaser, like how does Peter get the black suit? What's that going to look like? And when it happened, I'm like feeling the vibration of the controller. You also hear, if you're not wearing headphones, you hear the symbiote voice through the speaker, and you hear like the whispers of the symbiote and all that. Like this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Like it's incredible.
Yeah, like you hear like the what is it, the grunts, like the symbiote grunts onto the speaker, and I'm like, Jesus, this is the freaking coolest thing ever.
Amazing.
Yeah. Although like
excuse me.
What?
Bless you.
Bless you. But I actually like it was funny because back when the first game came out, when like after the post credit scene, like after the game came out, all that, people were thinking, oh, well, the black suit would just be like a black and white version of the advanced suit 1.0.
Right.
Like that's what we all thought.
Yeah.
It was gonna be.
And I love how that's in the game. I love how that's a suit variant in the game.
Yeah, it's like they knew. It's like here's what you all thought it was gonna look like. But it's honestly not a bad color variant actually. Like it looks really good, especially with the symbiote abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
It's even crazier how they put on the best advanced suit, by the way. Hot take. With the first one, and I don't know why they didn't do it with the second one, because that could have easily been a variant, but instead they did like the mustard yellow man suit variant instead.
I honestly, it's like, I don't like, there are some color variants that I do like in this game, but there are some others where I'm just like, what in their mother have they've been smoking with this color variant? Like, my God, it's like Muster Man. Who and their mothers wanted to play the game as Muster Man? No one.
It's like, yeah, you could have done, like, actually they did do, like, an Arachno Man variant, which is hilarious on the Advanced Suit 1.0, but, yeah, like, why didn't they do...
Perfect. Whoa.
a black suit, advanced suit variant for that second one, but they did for the first one.
Yeah, I'm assuming because it was like at that point it's like because they knew they were gonna do like the black suit, like the main black suit, but even so, I still think that like maybe having like a color variant of the Advanced Suit 2.0,
right,
with that's like black and gold, that would have been cool, honestly.
That would be very cool. But you know me, like Franco and I think, and also Keenan, and maybe you go. I don't know, like I don't know what suits you guys wear in your playthroughs, but me, I'm like, even though they have all these suits. And they're amazing. I still just wear the canon suits, minus the evolved suit.
I mostly
but
wear
I
the
just
canon
wear
suits all the time.
Yeah, like the upgraded suit and the advanced suit and the black suit. Like I just like
except
there's
for the
something
evolved
about them, except for the evolved suit. Only exception.
But no, like,
for me it's
like when it comes to like alternate suits, like I would probably go like the what's it called, like the 2.0 upgraded suit.
Yeah.
The classic suit, Insomniac's version.
Mm-hmm.
And advanced suit 1.0.
Yeah, like there's so much.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like in
they
terms
just
of
look
like
so
regular
cool. It's like that's why I was like even online like really you guys are gonna wear the classic suit over like all those amazing like main suits that Insomniac made? Like all right.
Yeah.
That's just me, but I love them too. Trust me, I wore like a lot of them when they first came out. But I'm like I don't know, just something about the advanced suit, like the iconic, the iconography of it that just stands out. Like man, it doesn't feel right wearing any other suit in this game other than those.
Check on the salesperson.
Mm-hmm. But sadly, I'm gonna have to head off now because I gotta go get some food. But it was wonderful being here with you guys as always.
Get your food, Franco. You too, buddy. Of course. Everyone go subscribe, by the way, to Self Gamer. Franco, he's the best.
Alright, bye guys.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, I know, Ghosty, like, man, there's so many, like, different suits to choose from, and all the, like, layers with the suit styles to give it even more depth. But, like, people are like, oh, I can't believe they didn't add this one specific suit I want. It's like, really? You guys are just, I don't know, very, very needy.
Yeah, like, I mean, obviously it's like, I'm, like, Insomnia, they knew that, they knew that the people were going to be asking for, like, you know, since they're going to have the black suit, like, are you going to include the Raimi black suit? And Insomnia was like, yes, we will have it, but we're just not going to, obviously they didn't want to say anything because they wanted to keep it as, like,
it's like, even if they didn't, like, say anything, it's like, isn't that common knowledge? Like, yeah, you're going to include all the movie suits, because it's just like, that's obviously what people would want. So it's like, when they showed the Raimi black suit in the trailer, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit in, like, the preview footage, it's like, yeah? And, like, I don't know, like, people are that obsessed about suit. I guess I'm just not a suit guy. Like, I've said that multiple times, but, like, if they showed, like, oh my god, they included the, you know, human spider suit from the Spider-Man 1 movie. I'm like, that's cool. Am I going to fanboy over it like a madman? No. But I'll definitely wear it, like...
Nah, yeah, it's like for me, it's like, I did wear some of the other costumes, but it was mostly just for, like, when I did, like, you know, side quests or side missions. But other than that, I pretty much stick to the canon main outfit for the story.
Right.
For the story missions.
Yeah, me too. I know, it just feels weird, like, wearing, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna wear, like, say, like, you know, the, like, what suit for Peter? Like, say, like, in the suit where he's trying to give the symbiote back to Harry, imagine you're wearing the frickin', like, the Kumo suit, or the, Spider-Punk suit,
or
like...
Or the Spider-Man Noir, Into the Spider-Verse suit.
Yeah, like, any crazy option like that. It's like, why on earth would I wear... Like, the only acceptable suit options in that sequence are the black suit, the classic black suit, the symbiote surge suit, or the black Raimi suit.
Thank you a million.
Yeah, and
I guess Antivenom.
Because it's like, oh yeah, Antivenom. Although that would kind of be like, it doesn't quite necessarily make sense because he doesn't get the Antivenom suit until like much later, but who cares? It looks cool.
But you know what I mean? Like, just aesthetically wise, like, yeah, just anything like that. It's crazy.
no, yeah.
It's
although I
cool.
will
It's cool
say,
you can
like,
wear all those suits, but I'm just like, I don't know. For me, I'm never too crazy about any specific costume in the game. I just wear like what the suit chooses, like what the story like requires, pretty much. And it helps that they look amazing too. Like they're my favorite. Like literally, the Advanced Suit 1.0 is my favorite Spider-Man suit of all time, and I love what they did with Miles' suit in this game. Like the second with the upgraded suit with the red stripes on the arms. Love that.
No, for me, I think the Event Suit 2.0 looks better, colors wise. Like I think it has
vibrantly.
Like,
it's amazing.
It's like the red and blue. Now the suit actually looks red because one of the criticisms that people had with the first Event Suit is that it looked too orange in the first game. And also, I don't know what they did with the Advanced Suit 1.0 in this game, but the colors just look even more like dull than what they were in the first game. Like I don't know what happened.
Which one?
The Advanced Suit 1.0.
Yeah, like I don't know why. Like in the remaster, which is crazy because in Spider-Man PS4, it already looked pretty good. I get the orange complaints, but I never really noticed it for some reason when I played on the PlayStation 4 version. Now, in like the PS5 remaster, it looks perfect. Like not only does it look lifelike, which is insane, but it also looks visually improved and more red and blue than it did in the PS4 version. So that's like the best version of the suit ever. But in this, in Spider-Man 2, it's like, I don't know, they less saturated the red and the blue on that one, made it like almost more orange, which is a bit odd.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like because I don't know if it was just like something that happened when they were like importing the models from the first game into this one,
right?
Or is that
reworked
or something
it for
because
something? Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's
like maybe another reason could be is like they want to emphasize how good the new suit looks, so they maybe downgrade the first one a bit more. I don't know. That's a conspiracy. That's a game theory. It's just a game theory, but I don't know. Like, and I love the second one. I love how the second suit looks. But if you ask me to choose one of them, I choose the first one in a heartbeat. Even if it does look a bit strange with the orange in this game, I would still wear the first suit over the second suit. Like in my main playthroughs, like you saw in all that footage. Like, that footage in my Venom video, that was all me playing the game. That's all my own recorded footage. I use the Advanced Suit 2.0. Not because, I have to wear it for the story and whatever. No, well, that helps, but also just because I like how the suit looks in those scenes. And it was meant to be worn in those scenes, too. But, yeah, like, I just wear, like, whatever the story wants because it fits the narrative. But I still like the first one aesthetically more because I love the red stripes down the lines. I love how the Spider logo is too big that it goes off of the red and dips into the blue. Like, I really like that. Some people don't like that, which is why in this new suit they just made it all in the red chest, but I like that choice that they did it for the first time.
Yeah, and it's like, and the thing that I like about the second Advanced Suit is like how it really does look like it is like an evolution of the Advanced Suit. It's like it actually looks like it is an upgrade to the
right.
to the
well, what I like to think is also my headcanon for this is that in the first game, Otto designed the suit for Peter, but then Peter made the suit for himself, but Otto gave him like the blueprint for how to make it. So, which is why, like, he was inspired by Otto, because Otto was his mentor at the time, and, like, his icon and hero, and Peter made the suit based off Otto's designs, but now, Peter kept all that, and then made it his own. So those are, like, all the adjustments that Peter made into the suit with the 2.0 one, which I do like narratively, because that's why he adds, like, the spider arms, and the web wings, and all of his own unique gadgets and stuff onto it.
No, yeah, 100%. And but also I do really like Miles's like upgraded suit in this game. Like I like how the red lines actually go to the shoulders.
Yeah.
Like it almost looks like it's like as I've said, it's an evolution of the design. So like,
yes.
So like because in the Miles Morales game, the classic suit, Miles' classic suit, it's pretty much just the classic suit from the comics, but like it had. But it definitely
has
felt
the
like
Insomniac
it was
twist. Yeah, like the visually modernized like padding and the lining and the detail aesthetic of the even the back logo looks different. So they changed the logo's design for that. So
yeah, and I love how in the second game it like not only like it looks like the suit is evolving, which is actually funny because it's like that the upgraded suit 2.0 actually feels like it's an evolution of Miles' classic suit design versus the actual evolved suit, quote unquote.
Right.
Which I
Where
really
that
do
just
not understand.
Comes
I
out of
don't
nowhere.
Yeah, it
It's
comes
like again,
out of
like
nowhere.
this
And also
comes
the
back
fact
to that tweet that I posted. Like, oh, do I like that suit at all? No, but do I respect them for making a different suit just to try something, different? Yes. But does that fit the narrative that the story was telling? Not really, because it's like, with the whole point of like the anti-Oct suit is that Peter builds it to fight against Otto to stand a chance against the arms, and Miles doesn't even build a final suit against the Tinkerer. So they're fine, like it's just Miles by himself. But because I think Peter got the Antivenom symbiote suit, their Insomniac's probably like, well, we got to give Miles his own suit now too. But they just kind of shoehorned that in for some reason, and it doesn't have any abilities. It just looks how it is.
And also the fact that it is like pretty much just like an Adidas ad, like in your face.
No, so that's where I'll say no, because that suit was made before they collaborated with Adidas on anything. So it's like that they just threw the shoes on there. But for the most part, if you took out the shoes, it's their own suit. But yeah, they just added the shoes on because of the partnership that they had with Adidas.
Yeah. No, but it's like now. I'm not saying like if you like the evolved suit, like one of the 2 people on Earth that like the evolved suit, that's fine. Like obviously, I'm not saying like, oh, you like the evolved suit, you're stupid. Like no, obviously, of course not. It's just that I think there was a way that they could actually make that suit just look actually really good, because I think the it's not awful per se. Like there is potential with the evolved suit. But I do feel like if they're gonna make that one as Miles' default suit going forward in this universe, I do think there's like a lot of things that they should change if they really want to make that one as like the standard outfit for Miles after Spider-Man 2. And so, but
I doubt that they're gonna keep that. Like just like the anti-Oct suit. Like Peter didn't keep the anti-Oct suit in Spider-Man 2, like he just used it to fight Otto, and even though it got damaged, he still had it. Like he could have easily repaired it, but he just didn't use it for what's going on there.
Because it's like, what's the point of like repairing a suit when it was only made specifically to fight up against Doc Ock?
Right.
Yeah, so it's like there was really no point in like bringing. Well, obviously the anti-Oct suit is in the second game, but like as of like canonically speaking, he doesn't actually wear it in the second game.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think they're going to use the evolved suit in Spider-Man 3, for example.
Yeah. Abby in the chat says the one thing I notice about every Insomniac Spider-Man game is that Spider-Man always fights the people he loves in every final mission of the game.
Yeah, I mean that's the story that they've done in the Raimi films too, almost like in a way, like, well, at least not like loves, but like he has a very personal connection to Spider-Man, whereas like, in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, for example, Max Dillon had zero connection to Peter Parker. He was just a guy that, was angry at Spider-Man for getting, the accident happen and just jealous for, being mentally unstable pretty much. And then the Lizard, yeah, had like the connection with Peter's parents and Peter with the Spider formula and all that stuff. So they just take that from like the movies. I think like you get it more emotionally invested. But for me, the ending, again, as I've said, the ending of Spider-Man 1 with Doc Ock has hit harder than any other Spider-Man piece of media I've seen in my entire life. Like that ending with Otto and what happens with Peter and Yuri's performance as well. Like, man, it hits so hard. And same with Harry. Like, I was still like, man, I feel really bad for Harry. With what's going on with the symbiote and everything, you just feel so bad for him with what's going on in his life. But that's just to get you more invested into the characters.
No, yeah, it's like for me, like for me, I still think like and I agree with Evan that like the first game overall has the better story because because Doc Ock, it just felt like you actually like you spend like a lot of time like with him and actually like him like the development that he had throughout the story and his transformation from Otto Octavius to Doctor Octopus. It's like even it's like the thing that I love is that they were already like yeah, it's so good.
Just to piss people off, I'm gonna wear the evolved suit for this mission.
Everything okay?
We're gonna piss off the.
He's like, everything okay, guys? And they're like, what the heck are you wearing, Spider-Man? No, I'm kidding. But yeah.
Look, they explained it in this note.
No, yeah, like and also that final fight, like the final boss against Doc Ock in the first game, that boss fight, even though I played the PS4 game so many times, still gets me.
Still hits.
Every single
Every time it still hits, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even going back to it, I'm like, man, like when I was playing the games for my Venom video, I was like, man, like this game just is a masterpiece. Which is why I'm so upset that neither the first game or the second game got any awards at the Game Awards.
No, yeah, like and the second game didn't need not even anything. Barely anything got anything from the awards.
It got stuff at the DICE Awards, luckily, and the BAFTAs, I think. Yeah, Minaj won. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but like as of like any actual awards from the Game Awards, nothing. Literally none.
Zilch. One day, maybe for Wolverine, we'll see.
Yeah, although Guardians of the Galaxy did win an award for Best Narrative.
Best Narrative,
so that's
and it was
at least.
amazing. Yeah, it totally deserved that. I mean, I played that recently again, actually, just for the fun of it, and it was incredible. Like, there was a moment that teared me up. Like, a lot of moments teared me up in that game, actually, but, like, one that I don't think teared me up when I first played it, but replaying it again, it did tear me up. And it was where Peter, like, sees his mom in the dream. Like, the promise.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to shoot her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why, but I was like, I guess because I knew it was an illusion, so it didn't hit me as much, but I don't know. I was so invested this time around playing it again. And seeing that moment where you have to shoot the mom as Peter. And I'm like, wow. Like, and the voice acting, too, from John McClaren as Star-Lord is phenomenal. And the mom, who played the mom. I forget who played the mom, but yeah.
Nah, yeah, like that game, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like, it's such a fantastic game in all regards. And the fact that like that's the game that we got after Marvel's Avengers, and the fact that we never got a sequel because of the game not selling well enough, it's like, it hurts. But
someday.
But hey, it's like,
who knows? Maybe they'll like say, you know what, that Guardians game was really damn good. Let's do another one. But the fact that a game, but my whole point is exactly that. The fact that a game like that exists in the first place just shows how Marvel are taking the chances that DC never will, and it's crazy.
Yeah, like that's the, and also, well, even more so because of the recent news that Disney is like expanding and like hiring like barons in the gaming industry to work on their on the gaming division of their properties and all that. Like, it goes to show that even Disney themselves are like, yeah, we're gonna be like, we actually do mean serious business.
We're not messing around
we
here.
actually want to expand upon.
Yeah, the same thing. Like that's what one of my recent videos was about. Like they're expanding the management, but they're also promoting the higher ups within their ranks. So it's like we got more people working on the games, we got more people working on these projects, and we have new people in charge at Disney and Marvel, like leading positive feedback, and also like, okay, we're gonna listen to our fans, we're gonna continue to work on what worked already, and just keep making that, because that's our bread and butter. They're not gonna go, oh, let's just do a live service game just because we know or think that they know that that'll make money when it really won't. But they're actually, taking the time to invest in their games and their developers and their teams, and that's why we're getting Iron Man. That's why we're getting Spider-Man 3. That's why we're getting, Marvel 1943, Black Panther. Hopefully, another EA Iron Man, EA Marvel game that we don't know about yet. Like they confirmed they're doing more than Black Panther and Iron Man. They're doing another one, so there's a lot more going on there.
Yeah, like I always like the fact that Disney is putting more investment into the gaming division in comparison to what Warner Brothers is currently doing is like it will never be not funny to me. Like there's a clear difference of priorities of what companies are doing in the gaming industry.
Yeah, it's wild because they're at least taking the chance to do something that speaks volumes to their willingness to go and say, hey, you want to make a game with us? Go for it. And then they let them choose, because it's like, oh, they're not saying, okay, you gotta do an Iron Man game, you gotta do a Black Panther. They're letting them say, hey, we're Marvel, would you want to make a game with Marvel? And they say, absolutely. And they're like, awesome, which character would you want to do? That's what they did with Spider-Man. And Insomniac, it's like, Marvel came to Insomniac and asked them, would you want to make a Marvel game? And they said, absolutely. And they said, which character? And they chose Spider-Man. Like, actually, you can't do Spider-Man because we're going to let this team do Spider-Man. No, they allowed them to do it. And that just shows how collaborative and meaningful they are with their characters and their teams and their developers to make experiences that not only they want, but also that everyone can be proud of. And I love stuff like that.
No, yeah, and also because it's like and like the collaboration between like Insomniac, Marvel, and PlayStation, it's like they took a massive risk with Spider-Man being, like they took a massive risk with Spider-Man because it's like they gave it to Insomniac because they knew that like Insomniac already had they were a pretty talented studio. I mean, obviously they were behind Ratchet and Clank, Resistance, Sunset Overdrive, so it's like these guys have all the potential to make a really solid Spider-Man game, and well, that ended up being true. And I love how Marvel is actually that's the thing, they're letting the studios actually choose what character they want to make a game of. Okay, you want to make a Marvel game? Great, awesome. What character do you want to make? And so they let the developers choose what game do they want to make, and not be like, oh, you're working on a Marvel game, here's the character you're gonna be making a game for. No, they're actually it's up to the developer's choice as to, okay, we want to make a game of this character,
right?
And et cetera, et cetera. And so
well, again, it's just
as Evan
again,
said, we got
it's
stuff
all about collaboration and determination to make a game that really speaks volumes to what the studio is all about. And that's why I'm like, people are like, ugh, EA is doing Iron Man. It's like, no. Motive is doing Iron Man. EA is publishing it, but that's why you got to focus on the team behind these games first and foremost. And it, again, speaks massive volumes to the love and care that they put in with the games, the characters, but also, we want you to make the best game possible. Not just to do a game for Marvel and make money and meet a mandate or whatever, just you genuinely have faith in the character and the game you're making, then go for it. And that's what it's all about. And I love stuff like that.
Nah, yeah. Well, I mean, and I mean, all the Marvel games so far have been, well, I mean, the only dog here would be Marvel's Avengers. So
yeah.
But besides that, besides that one, every other game has been a banger so far. Spider-Man, Miles Morales, Iron Man VR, despite like
Iron Man VR
not a
was
lot of people
amazing.
mentioning, but like
Yeah,
Iron Man VR
like-
was still.
Even that, like,
Yeah.
they tried, I guess, they did Batman Arkham VR, but it's like, do another one. Like, why not? Go for it. Even like they did the Homecoming VR tie-in thing, like for the movie. For Spider-Man.
Yeah, but like
Not by Insomniac, but like, yeah, by another
but like
developer.
Iron Man No, yeah, but like Iron Man VR was like such a really interesting like like it was a really interesting take on like what will Iron Man what it's like to be inside of the Iron Man suit and seeing all this
Exactly.
stuff that he does. And that was like and that was like the really cool thing about the game. And so like even if VR is not like your cup of tea, you have to give credit to Iron Man VR for what it is.
Right. And at least, again, they're allowing them to take that chance. Like, oh, even if the game doesn't end up doing well, like, like the Guardians of the Galaxy game didn't do gangbusters in terms of sales, but the people who, and same with Midnight Suns, but the people who played it freaking loved it. And they shared that love with it, and that's all that matters.
As long as the people actually enjoy your game, like if they say, oh, this game is fantastic, this game is great, like even if it's not like game-buster sales or anything, like if the game gets like like if it gets, like, great reviews and praise and all that,
right.
That's when you know.
Yeah, sorry, I just put this person in the Caleb City pose. You seen those TikToks or those YouTube shorts, like the messed up position? This guy got messed up big time. Yikes. Ouch.
Oh my god.
Pain beyond belief. That guy is, he's not getting up tomorrow. But I think that's a good place to stop. We just did a lot of Miles missions. We did some Peter stuff with the Sandman stuff, and Miles, we did all the Brooklyn Visions and the Prowler side missions, and leveled up a bit. So we did good. But I think now is a good time to end. And of course, don't worry. Whenever I get around to getting more free time, I'll definitely make sure to stream more of Marvel Spider-Man 2 for all you guys in the future. And thank you to both Ghosty and Franco for joining me today in the stream. Couldn't have done it without them. And thank you to everyone who donated. I very much appreciate it. You do not have to do that at all, but it is very, very meaningful that you do, and I appreciate it very much. And you guys are the best. And again, I would not be here without you. And I'm hoping that whenever I have more free time, I can do more videos for Spider-Man or the other Marvel games. And it's not that I haven't ran out of video ideas. It's just that I've been so busy outside of YouTube that I haven't had time to do YouTube. But when there is time to have that is free for me, I'll definitely make sure to dive in and talk about tons more stuff for Spider-Man and all the other things that we're super looking forward to. And it'll be great. And I can't wait to share that excitement with all of you. It'll be awesome. Cool. So, all right, everybody. So
it's good. Yeah, it's been just to let you guys know. So to give the TLDR is that Evan, he's just a busy man. He's just a very busy boy. But like he will make videos when he finds the time eventually. So don't worry.
Yeah, we'll get on that eventually. But I promise. Don't worry, it'll be worth it for sure. All right, everybody, but thank you all so much for watching. Definitely stay tuned for more Marvel Spider-Man live streaming in the future, whenever I have time, but it'll definitely be worth the wait. But until then, thank you all so much for watching. Stay spectacular, Spidey fans, and until next time, peace out.
Bye, everyone.